Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome to episode 51 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. My name is Matt, and I'll be your co-host today.
And I'm your other co-host, Joe.
And on episode 51 today, we have an awesome discussion where we will be talking about the Bikeriders, Kinds of Kindness, and Psycho. We also have a list that we're going to do that, Joe, you recommended us last episode, which is breaking down our top 10 favorite TV shows, which I struggled with, to be honest with you. I'm not really that into television.
Fair.
Joe, I feel like your list will probably be more flushed out than mine.
But yeah, honestly, I'm surprised though. I think you watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have a decent list, but we'll get to that when we get to that, I guess. To start things off, we could talk about The Bikeriders, which is a film starring Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, Tom Hardy, and it follows this group of bikers, this bike club in the 70s, I want to say. Maybe late 60s.
It's like late 60s, early 70s.
And this was a film that I think was supposed to come out last year, actually, the end of last year.
Yeah.
But because of the writer's strike, ended up getting pushed into 2024. But yeah, I actually love this movie. I got to see an early screening where Austin Butler and Jodie Comer actually did a Q&A after. It was at the Alamo, which is like one of my favorite theaters to go to, the one in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been there, Joe.
Yeah, I went there once. I had work, unfortunately, I couldn't go.
Yeah, but it was really cool. I always like going to those live events just to, see the stars or the directors actually talk about making the film. So that was cool. But to go into the film itself, I think that the way that they told the story was very interesting, and I wasn't expecting it. Which is how they had... It wasn't just like I don't know the word, but it wasn't
like
just a
linear story.
Yeah, it still was linear, but it wasn't just like, okay, here's a movie.
The story's like from the perspective of Jodie Comer's character, what's her name?
I should know this.
Oh my god.
Was it
No, not Barbara.
Was it Bonnie? No,
it definitely wasn't Bonnie.
I feel like it was Bonnie.
Was it Bonnie?
No, I might have made that up. Hold on.
No, isn't his name? No. Wait, hold on. Now you're confusing me. Hold on. Let me go on. Let's look it up.
Alright, that was a complete fumble.
What was
the Bonnie I was getting from Benny. That's awesome.
Benny, that's like,
She's Kathy.
Kathy. That's
Kathy. It. Yeah. But no, I was going to say, like I was trying to get into before, the way that the story was told was different than I expected, which is that it follows this dude who wrote a book about these bike riders. So he is an actual character in the movie. So a lot of the film is him taking pictures and recording dialogue of this biker gang. And that led to the exposition being able to be told gracefully and not just being interjected in, because Jodie's character is actually being interviewed, and that way she can explain what's going on, who's this person, what happened to this person, instead of just saying it to the audience for no reason. It was like an efficient way.
Actually really smart.
Yeah, it was a very smart way to tell the story.
Yeah.
That character is played by Mike Feist, who was in Challengers.
Challengers, yeah. I didn't know that. That's cool that he was in it.
Yeah, I really liked his character in this.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also, what carried this film for me was definitely the performances.
Yeah. Honestly, most of the movie is just people talking. For like a bike rider movie, there's not a lot of riding per se. Like it's mostly just them talking the whole movie.
Yeah, that goes into what I was saying before about the exposition, but yeah, you would think that with Austin Butler and Tom Hardy on the forefront of the posters, and they're supposed to be the lead characters,
it's gonna be a little more action.
Yeah, but you would think that those would be the two that you take away their performances the most, but surprisingly, I thought Jodie Comey,
Jodie Comey.
Jodie Comer
Comer.
as Kathy was the best out of
Yeah,
all
I
three of them.
agree. Yeah.
Honestly, Austin Butler is probably the weakest of the three.
But I feel like that's not really his fault per se. The script, like his character, is just really quiet, mundane. Doesn't really have a lot of dialogue. A lot of his lines are just short, like kind of a couple words, you know.
Yeah, and I don't mean that
No,
as a
yeah, it's not a
knock.
knock on Butler. It's like it's just like the way the character's written.
Yeah, I thought Comer was legitimately Oscar worthy
Yeah,
in
I
this,
agree.
and Tom Hardy as well. I thought he was
Yeah,
fantastic.
and honestly, there were all the performances were great, like from the main kind of cast.
Yeah, that main trio. And like I mentioned before, not to take anything away from Austin Butler, I still think he was good.
Yeah,
But I had heard a lot about how good his performance is going into the movie, and
obviously we
how
had a
it's
big buzz off of him from Dune.
yeah. But really, Jodie Comer, her performance as Kathy, that's
Yeah,
what I walked out of the theater
so
and I was like, wow,
yeah,
she is the star of this movie, which you don't really
yeah.
expect. I
No, not at
also
all.
I also really like Norman Reedus' character. I want to mention him quickly. He had a weird name. I can't think of it right now.
He's the biker from LA, right?
Yeah, Bunny Sonny was his name.
He's not in it a
I'm
lot. He's only in it for like
He
maybe he
becomes
pulls
like
up
a
at the end,
decent side character
like for
towards the
like the
end.
last hour and a half, hour.
He ends up saving Kathy when she's
Yeah,
there's that one scene I guess we could talk about a little bit where it's sort of like what ends up happening with the gang is they sort of branch out too much, and then there's all these new members
new.
joining that they might not have necessarily been vetted by Tom Hardy's character, who's like he's the boss, he's the
Yeah,
leader. So some questionable individuals, and there's a miscommunication where some of them end up trying to sexually assault Kathy,
yeah,
and it's a really messed up scene. But I think her performance again is it really was able to bring the most out of that scene.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Norman Reedus is funny, Sunny or Sunny Funny, whatever his name is. He's in that scene too. He like saves her at
Yeah,
that point. Um, But yeah, I love Norman Reedus. I'm a big fan of his because of his portrayal of Daryl on The
The
Walking
Walking
Dead,
Dead.
which
But
was one of my
he's not.
favorite
He's not a
shows.
big. I feel like he's not in a lot of movies.
Not
Mostly does
really.
TV.
I can't really think of any other movie that he's in,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I
Besides
don't know.
Blade 2, apparently. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he is in Blade 2. I forget. I feel like he plays some guy with a crossbow for some reason. Um,
Probably.
but yeah, aside from the performances, I thought the score was pretty good. I'm not really familiar with the director.
Yeah,
I'm not. I forget his name.
Jeff Nichols.
Jeff Nichols. I haven't seen any of his other
Yeah,
films. And he seems pretty young.
yeah.
Let me see.
He did a movie in 2012 with uh, Matthew McCarthy.
Matthew McConaughey.
McConaughey, what I said, McCarthy.
Mud. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know if you had any other thoughts about the film.
I mean, I definitely didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah, it stuck with me a lot more than I
Yeah,
anticipated it to.
yeah,
Especially the towards the end. I just like how you sort of see this biker gang. They're called the Vandals.
yeah,
From start when their first beginnings when they started as these just racing bikes. Um, that's what Tom Hardy's character was doing with a group of people. Then to eventually becoming this gang, being really well known, really reputable, and then eventually sort of the demise of it all, where you get to spoilers, the murder of the leader, which was a pretty crazy scene.
yeah,
I kind of expected that, although I
yeah. I
didn't.
had a feeling like I don't know, just because in the other. So basically, the context of the scene is there's this character that you kind of follow throughout the film and he's like a younger kid. And I don't in the beginning, I don't know if he like he rides motorcycles and stuff, but he's seen like stealing stuff. Like he's just you could see he's like a bad kid, and eventually he ends up joining the biker gang, and he challenges Tom Hardy's character like for leadership of the gang. So the rule is you either fight with like your fists, like your fist fight, or you fight with knives. And um, so they go meet up at this parking lot, and the kid I forgot the kid's name.
Yeah, I don't even. It's irrelevant, honestly. I
Yeah,
think he's just called Kid. I don't know if they ever say his
I don't know
name.
if they actually say his name,
Yeah, let me see if I could check in
but they go to
cast.
fight, and
Yeah, his name in the cast is the Kid.
the kid, yeah. So they go to fight, and then he just pulls out a gun and shoots Tom Hardy's character.
Yeah, it was
So
meant to be kind of a shock, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why.
yeah. Just because you see him in the other scenes, like he betrayed all his friends just to join.
Yeah,
Remember that? Like he should to be like a piece of shit.
yeah. It kind of shows how the Vandals eventually become a group that just the members have a lack of respect for rules and tradition.
Yeah,
Because you would think that if you agree to fight someone with knives, you wouldn't pull out a gun and shoot them in the head.
yeah.
What did you think of that ending scene where Austin Butler's Benny finally comes back to Kathy and he shows emotion for the first time?
I love that scene.
I think that might be my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah. Before that scene, like there's a scene of him previous to this in the movie where he talks about like how is he talking about how like he never cries? Oh no,
Yeah.
what's her name?
Kathy?
Kathy talks about how like I've never seen him cry. The closest I've
Yeah.
ever seen him cry was when he found that he couldn't ride a bike.
Yeah. That
And
that
then
whole
like
bit was funny as well.
yeah,
Where that she mentions when she's doing the interview with Mike Face character. She mentions how he has no emotion, and the most emotional he was when he thought he was going to lose his foot because to ride a bike again.
yeah,
That's the scene that actually starts the movie, and then they revisit it later on.
yeah,
Him getting into that fight. That was the one that was in the trailers as well, where they burned down the bar.
yeah.
But yeah, in terms of favorite characters, it's really between Kathy
And Tom Hardy's character.
and Tom Hardy. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, it's between Kathy and Johnny. Nothing against Austin Butler's Benny. I think that was a great character as well.
I feel like his character is more of a plot device in the movie.
I mean, Benny he's very cold as a character. It's hard to relate to him. It's hard to get a gauge on.
But like I feel like the best part of the movie is when Kathy and Johnny are fighting for like kind of fighting for him, and it's like that,
Yeah, but even in those scenes, you could tell he just doesn't really give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I'm
Kathy's-
saying that he's used more as like a plot device than like actual giving him a character.
Yeah, and it's kind of the writing's on the wall with what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, so. But yeah, I would give it to Kathy. I would say overall. I think as of right now, she's my pick for Best Actress at the Oscars.
Yeah.
It still is early in the year, obviously.
I mean,
but
like more than halfway through the year.
Yeah, it's July.
And think about what other movies are really coming out this year. It's a weak year.
The one that could challenge, I'm thinking, is maybe Lady Gaga in Joker 2.
Yeah.
There's a couple other films that are a little lesser known that I've seen some Oscar buzz about. Not any that I really know or care about. Yeah. But yeah, as of right now, I think Jodie Comer is my pick for Best Actress of the year so far. So
yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of this year, though, in terms of where this ranks among my 2024 releases, this is number 2 for me, right next to Dune Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you.
No, same for me.
There haven't been a lot of 4.5 star movies, which spoiled.
I think last year I had a ton.
To go into ratings for this film, I gave the Bikeriders 4.5 star, 9 out of 10. Yeah, I felt a real connection to this movie for some reason. I don't know why. I keep bringing up Jodie Comer's Kathy. I just love the character and I loved her performance. And I really just can't say enough about how well the story is told and how it engrossed me into this lore of the Vandals. It was just so smart with how they did the exposition that, I just can't stop thinking about the movie and the story. So
I agree. I also gave it a 4.5, 9 out of 10. Just the story, the performances. Honestly, it's most of the performances for me.
yeah. I wanted to mention also when I left the theater for the Bikeriders, this random girl just comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, I work for Searchlight Pictures. Can you tell me what you thought about the movie?" I just got like completely put on the spot. I was like, the performances were really great, and I didn't expect Kathy to be the main character, but her performance really was the best out of the three."
Yeah.
And she started like writing down her notes on her phone. She's like, "All right, thanks," and just dipped.
That's pretty cool.
I have no idea where that information went, but yeah, that was pretty
Imagine
cool.
they have like your name on like a. Should have told them you have a movie podcast. They could have credited you with the.
Yeah, I'm sure. Searchlight Pictures is one of our
They might throw it up on like an
5
ad, like
listeners.
Jodie Comer's best performance, like, and it's like Matt Dash Cool Ever Awesome podcast.
That would be sick. We'll get there one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should have gave her the ad. All right. Anyways, I think we could move on unless you have anything else you wanted to say about the film. Yeah, Bikeriders really great. We'll see it again in Oscar season. It'll definitely have some type of awards. So, yeah, all right. We can move on now to the second film we watched, which is a film that's not traditional really in any way. Not only in the fact that it's just weird overall, but also in the fact of
the way it's told, how the movie is.
Or what it actually is, which is, if you guys couldn't tell already, it's Yorgos Lanthimos' Kinds of Kindness, starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, as well as Willem Dafoe and others. But yeah, this film is 3 shorts with very loose connections tossed into one movie.
Yeah.
It's a very hard film to even tackle. Like, after I watched it, I knew we were talking about it on this episode. I was like, this is going to be a struggle for me.
Yeah. I don't even know how to explain the stories.
I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I guess we could, I don't even know.
The best way to start, I think, is just go each short film at a time.
So for reference, this movie is essentially 3 short mini movies. The way it's told, like there's like titles for each movie before it starts.
Yeah. What's the name of the dude that's in every title? Like R or something.
RB something.
RMF.
RMF, that was it.
So yeah, so these 3 films, each one is titled RMF Does Something. I think the first one is The Death of RMF, right?
Yeah.
So this one I think was my favorite of the 3. I don't know if you agree.
No, I like the second one personally, but
yeah. So just to give a little explanation of The Death of RMF, it basically follows this non-traditional relationship between Willem Dafoe's character, who's kind of just this dominant. I don't even know how to explain his relationship.
Well, with
I don't know. Let me restart.
It's like he's kind of his boss, but not. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, so it's the first one is basically Willem Dafoe plays this dude who's the boss of Jesse Plemons' character, but he's more than just his boss. So it starts with Jesse Plemons going in. Well, this isn't the actual start, but this is like towards the beginning. Jesse Plemons goes into his office, whatever, sees Willem Dafoe, and you think it's sort of like a boss or maybe like a mentor-mentee relationship or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Willem Dafoe just starts coming out with like these weird remarks. You should really slim down. Or no, you should gain weight.
Oh, skinny
men is he's like, what was it? Skinny men are
the most pathetic thing. Yeah, something like that.
So then you're like, all right, this is weird. And then
the movie, the movie is actually really funny.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Yeah.
Like overall, I'll just say I really liked the movie overall. It was very ambitious, and I really haven't
Yeah.
seen anything like it. But that's
Um.
honestly expected from Yorgos.
Yeah. No. He's always. I feel like he always pushes the envelope with what. Like, I feel like this would not be released like 20 years ago in a theater.
I feel like without the success of Poor Things, this probably wouldn't even have been released.
Really? Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Because he's had earlier films like Dogtooth, for instance, that are very weird. Probably even go even
I haven't
further
seen that.
beyond
I know
this
you're a
one.
big Yorgos fan. Like, what is that about?
It's about Dogtooth is about this family. I'm pretty sure the movie's in Greek. So it's this family that basically the parents never let their kids out of the house. So they're raised completely within their own home. They never get
Mm.
any exposure to the outside world. They don't know anyone else besides each other. And it just explores like what that does to a person. But it goes into some really strange places. For instance, when the kids who never leave the house start to get sexual urges,
Yeah.
the only people around are each other. So
Yeah.
you take that, you could figure that one out.
Yeah.
But like that's like what Yorgos is known for, just weird shit. And there is
Yeah.
stuff like that in this movie, not that severe.
No. No. But there is very like outlandish
Like in
shit in this.
the second short film. Sorry to keep jumping around, but just to bring this one up
Yeah.
really quick, there's that one scene where Jesse Plemons, he's so upset because his wife is missing and he's begging his
Yeah.
friends who came over. He's like, "Can we please watch this video? Can we please watch this video?" They're like, "Fine, we could watch a little bit of it." And it's just like an orgy between him, his wife, and those two people.
Yeah.
And he's just like intently watching it.
Like
Stuff
you
like
could.
that,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be in the average big
Yeah.
release,
I personally thought that was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, just the timing and delivery of that scene.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's try to go back to the first film.
Yeah.
It's like my thoughts are all over the place right now, so it's hard to lock in on one specific aspect of this film. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the first film, basically, like I said, it's Willem has this weird relationship with Jesse Plemons' character, where he keeps track of everything that he does. He says, did you have sex with your wife this morning? And Jesse Plemons, yes, I did. I did at this exact time, like you said. I ate this, like you said. I did this, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's sort of this controlling relationship that they have. It's assumed that it's romantic, I think, by the end.
Yeah.
But I think what this first of the three films is going for is how it's hard to escape a controlling partner.
Yeah.
Especially by the end, because what ends up happening is Jesse Plemons' character ends up leaving and saying, "You know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever." And he leaves Willem Dafoe's character, and Willem Dafoe's like, "All right, you go, it's fine." But then by the end, he ends up wanting to be back with him by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Which ends up in him killing someone.
Yeah.
Who's the character? RMF, I think. Was that it? RMF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even mention one of the biggest things about it is the reason why Jesse Plemons and Willem get into the disagreement is because Willem basically asks him to hit someone in his car and kill them. It's unknown why he wants him to do this, but Jesse Plemons is like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not willing to kill someone." So he won't hit someone. It's basically like a T-bone. So he's going to hit this guy in another car and kill him. But he's not willing to do it. He says, this is out of control. I'm not going to do this. But by the end, this is probably my favorite scene in the movie, honestly, or one of them, he ends up not only killing him, but brutally killing him by running him over twice in a parking lot. I thought it was really funny how he went around in the circle,
Twice, yeah.
ran him over twice and dipped. And then by the end, he ends up going back to Willem and getting accepted. But yeah, I think I don't know, I just thought it was my favorite one, mainly because of Willem Dafoe in this. I thought his character in the first of the three films,
Yeah,
well, it's not its own film, but
but yeah, I know what you
yeah,
mean.
Willem Dafoe's character in the first of the three shorts was probably my favorite character. He just had that Willem Dafoe energy, and every time
Yeah,
he came on screen, the audience was like applauding. It was really funny.
that is
But I
pretty
thought he
funny.
did a great job in that role.
Yeah, he was. Honestly, I'm trying to remember his characters in the other ones. That was the one that stuck out the most to me, though. In the second one, he plays what, like the
He plays Emma
Emma Stone's
Stone's
dad.
father. And in the third one, he's
He's
one of the
like
members of that cult.
he's like the leader of it, though.
Yeah,
He's
the
kind of
leader.
it's kind of a similar role to the one in the first one a little bit,
Yeah, a little bit. Um,
but um,
yeah, this probably sounds like insane
yeah.
nonsense if you haven't seen the movie, but it's really hard to explain. Yeah, I
And
guess
we can
Emma
talk about the
Stone in the
second one.
first is kind of like a side character, though. That's my
Yeah,
only
she's
complaint with
only in
it.
it for like what?
She joins toward at least halfway through, I would
Yeah,
say, and she basically plays Jesse Plemons' um, replacement for Willem. But they
yeah,
end up sort of having a relationship with each other, which I guess in the end is really to get back with Willem.
yeah.
I thought the scene was
It's
really funny. I forgot about when he's in the
all three of
bar.
them. Oh, I know.
When he's in the bar and it's his tactic to get the girls where he pretends to have an injury.
Oh yeah,
He tries it on that one girl and it just doesn't work at all. She walks right over him. That one
that was
probably
very
got
funny.
one of the biggest laughs out of my
Yeah,
audience. And yeah, that was really funny. I enjoyed that part. Um, but yeah, overall, I don't know. I just felt like that first one was the most polished. I was able to tell what it was going for fully, which I
yeah,
can't say the same about the other two. Not to take anything away from those other two, but I just feel like me being able to understand
yeah. There's
fully.
something you can take away from this one.
Yeah, it's more surface level than the others, which I think looking at the nature of this project in general and how abstract and strange it is, having something that I could pull away and be like, okay, I'm smart enough to understand this, that helped me enjoy it more than the other two. So,
Yeah, fair.
we could talk about the second. I feel like I've been hogging the mic,
Yeah.
though. I don't know if you want
Honestly,
to.
I don't. Yeah, I'll talk. I mean, I'm trying to remember how like the second one starts. So it's Jesse
It's
Plemons' character is married to Emma Stone. Emma,
yeah,
but what
and
is she? She's a diver that goes missing or something like that, and it just
yeah.
shows up one day.
Um, so yeah, the reason why we keep saying the actor's character is because each actor plays multiple characters in the movie, so it's hard to remember all their
Yeah.
names. And even if you look on Letterboxd, I wouldn't be able to tell which one is from
Which
which
ones? But
movie.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
But yeah, Jesse Plemons in this one, he's the lead of it. He's really the lead, I would
Yeah.
say.
Honestly, yeah, I thought Emma Stone was gonna be more of the leads in this, but he honestly had probably the most screen time.
Yeah, I think he definitely had the most screen time because he's one of the main characters in the three short
Yeah.
films. But yeah, the second one, he plays a cop, and his wife was some sort of diver, like you mentioned, and she went missing on some crazy trip that she went on. So
Yeah.
she had been gone for whatever it may have been, like, let's just say 6 months. I don't know,
Something.
something like that. And he's acting all fucked up from it. You know, he's the opening scene is
Yeah.
him as a cop fondling the suspect's hair, and he's like, she looked just like my wife, but it was like a dude.
Yeah.
Just showing like how distraught he kind of was. I really liked the chief cop. I don't know who the actor was that played him, but I thought he was really funny.
Was that like the fat dude?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was funny.
yeah, just his line delivery was very funny.
Yeah.
Um, but
So
anyways,
his partner is what's the actor's name?
it's like Mama Dow, Mom something,
And he's
Ma,
married.
Mama Dow, Ma, Mom Ow Dow, Athi. There, I have no idea how to pronounce that.
So yeah, he's married to, I forgot the other girl's name too.
Hong Chao.
Yeah, so and that's the scene we were talking about where they're all eating dinner. He's talking about how he misses his wife, and he's like, "Oh, like, can we watch the video?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't have to." And then he keeps like pushing them to do it.
Starts
It's,
crying.
yeah, so it's all of them having an orgy. So anyway, it's not.
Yeah, that's honestly unrelated,
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
just
unrelated
threw
to
it
the
in.
plot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. So then, at one day, his wife shows up, and how does he find his wife? I forgot.
Does she not just show up at his door?
Maybe
Or
it's
no,
that.
that's the
Yeah,
end. No, that's the
no,
end.
it's the end.
They find her, and then he goes to the hospital and sees her. But throughout this, he's getting these weird phone calls where it's like muffled voice. And there's this muffled
I
voice
forgot
calling
about
him,
that.
but then they hang up. So you could tell there's something else going on. But
Yeah,
then his wife just shows up. But he slowly starts to realize that this woman who showed up, who looks exactly like his wife, is not actually his wife.
wife.
Because she didn't, like, for instance, she didn't like chocolate. But then when she comes back, she eats like an entire chocolate cake.
Yeah,
There's also the scene where, this is a funny scene where he mentions how in the car ride, he asked his wife to play his favorite song, and she played like his second favorite song or something. Um, that scene was funny though, because when he's talking to his partner, like, yeah, but you
yeah,
love that song too. He's like, yeah,
yeah.
I love it, but it's not my favorite. So everyone sort
Then,
of thinks he's crazy.
yeah,
She also doesn't fit into her shoes. I think that was one of the first signs that he saw.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, this
It's
one
also,
I
and in this one, it's like also implied that she ate the other people on the dive with her,
is it?
kind of. Yeah, you don't remember? Like, she's like, "Oh, when you're out on the island, like, I was just craving chocolate." And it's that scene of her in black and white, like eating meat off a bone.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right.
That's why, like,
You're right.
also, I don't know. Remember how there was another diver in the hospital? I don't know if it's supposed to be implied that she ate his leg, because you know, remember it says he's missing a leg, and there's a scene of her like eating a guy's leg.
It could be. I honestly didn't pick up on that, but
But
that definitely could
this
be.
is like, I gotta. All right, so let me backtrack again. His wife shows up, and he's starting to think that things are wrong, and so randomly he's like not eating anymore. Oh no! Before this, he ends up like shooting someone in the hand, but I forgot why.
He just sort of is like going crazy.
Crazy, yeah. He's just kind of spiraling,
Yeah, he's
and he ends up
spiraling.
shooting someone at work, like shooting a guy in the hand. So he gets put off of work,
Yeah, but
and
not
he's
only does he shoot his hand, but he starts like sucking the blood off of it
oh, I
for some
forgot.
reason.
I forgot
I
about
really
that.
don't know why he did that. Thinking
Yeah,
back
I
to
don't
it,
know why either.
they never really like go back onto explaining that. But
I think that maybe he thought that I don't know, like he thought his wife like ate meat, like ate a human there. So then like he tried blood, and then right after that he asked her to cook. So then the next scene is he stays home and he stops eating, and his wife's like, "I'll make you anything. Like, what do you want?" And he's like, "I want your finger."
yeah,
So
he
then
asked for her thumb.
her thumb, and she literally like cuts off her thumb, but then he doesn't eat it.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't eat it. Yeah, I don't
she
know.
cuts off her thumb and chefs it with some broccoli and then feeds it to him. I think he says that he just gave it to the cat.
Cat, yeah.
Um, but
But there's
I don't
also another thing was the cat. The
now that
cat hisses at her when she first walks in.
yeah, the cat hisses at Emma Stone when she first walks in, which is not something that ever usually happened.
Yeah,
But yeah, now that we're kind of just brainstorming on this one a little bit, there is a lot to do with cannibalism. I
yeah,
didn't really notice that the first time somehow. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's implied that she eats the others while she's stranded on the island. Then there's the scene where Jesse Plemons is sort of sucking the blood off the guy's hand, and then obviously the bigger ones, which is with the thumb
yeah,
and her liver, which she
yeah.
cooks up for him.
No,
What
no,
does that mean? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. But
yeah. So basically, what ends up happening is eventually he's like, "I want you to make me your liver, like an organ or a liver." So he wakes up the next day and you see like his wife like bled out on the floor and like her liver's on the floor. And then like
Yeah,
all of a sudden the doorbell rings and it's just like his wife, like his actual wife, not this woman, I guess. And then it's just like them hugging. It's actually a nice shot. Like as the lights coming in from the
yeah,
outdoor, and then like there's just like the dead Emma Stone with the liver on the floor. Yeah, that was
yeah.
my favorite. I thought that was the funniest one in my opinion.
Yeah, I just like didn't get it though. That's my problem with it. I thought it was funny. There was a lot of funny moments in it, but I'm walking away at the end and I'm just not understanding.
No, I don't know what happened either, but I mean, I thought, I don't know. In my opinion, I thought it was the funniest. That's why I liked it the most. I don't really take a lot from away from either all three of these. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
hard
fair
to
enough. It is. It's very hard to pull
take
some
full
sort of
message.
meaning,
Yeah.
which
Does
is
he
why
like said anything like in interviews and stuff?
I mean, I'm sure he has, but oh wait, also I forgot. This one's called RMF is Flying,
Oh,
and
I
it's
didn't even know.
because the character RMF, who's just this random guy, he appears in all three stories. In this one, he flies the helicopter down that has Emma Stone in it, and that's it. Like he doesn't do anything in the movie.
I didn't
I
even
think that
notice that.
the stories were completely unrelated,
No, I think so
and,
too.
and they were just like, "Fuck it, let's just toss this random character in," which is RMF,
Yeah.
and then they pulled these loose ass threads to tie the stories together, which really have no relation. Which it kind of makes me think, why did he not just release these as shorts?
Yeah.
He's done other shorts before. I've seen one of his shorts.
I think he just he said he wanted to try something. Like in the interviews I saw, he said like he wanted to like do something different that hasn't been done before.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I saw Yorgos and Emma Stone at a Q&A for this as well, which I saw the Friday it came out. They were at the AMC in Lincoln Center or Lincoln
That's
Square,
sick.
I forget. But yeah, Yorgos was asked about how the idea came about of them doing this as like a throuple film.
Yeah.
And he said they had the idea for the first story first, and then they just threw out a bunch of different ideas for other shorts, and then they picked two that they think sort of match the vibe, and then tossed them in here. Which that's why I kind of think that first one is the strongest, because that was the original
The
idea.
original pitch.
So, but not yeah. I still enjoyed the other two, but
The third one was the one I liked the least.
I kind of liked it because Emma Stone was the clear lead,
Clearly,
and that's the one that we've seen with her
I
character.
think that's the most like tame one.
I mean, it depends what you count as tame.
Like she has a family. Like it's a kind of more like I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's a traditional family,
No,
considering
no.
what happens with the
The
husband.
husband, yeah.
Oh yeah, before we move on, the second short, I want to mention that like credit ending with the dogs.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was funny.
I thought that was hysterical.
Yeah,
I
they had
completely
like
forgot
a
about
what
it
song?
too.
They had like a rock song on in the background, right?
Yeah, I forget what the song was, but
I think it was a Dio song.
I don't remember. But yeah, in that
Look
second
up.
short, Emma Stone's character mentions how when she was on the island, it was ruled by dogs. And she's saying, yeah, dogs had all the food and they ate lamb chop. And she would wait to just get scraps of lamb chop. But they threw away all their chocolate because dogs couldn't eat chocolate. So chocolate was like terrible on the island. And that's how she ended up getting a taste for chocolate when she came back. I thought it was just nonsense, which I'm
Yeah.
sure it still is. But I like how they tied it back in with that ending credits. Those scenes with the dogs are hysterical.
Yeah.
I don't know how they filmed
They did
those. If they opened up the floor for questions from the audience while I was there, I definitely would have asked
Yes.
about that scene and how Yorgos thought of doing that and how they filmed it. Because I really enjoyed that part. That honestly, that's up there with my favorites.
Oh yeah, it was the song's called "Rainbow in the Dark" by Dio. I actually like know that song. I listen to it when I work out. So when I heard that in the movie, I was like, "Oh shit!" It's like I wasn't
Yeah,
familiar with your game, Yorgos.
Yorgos is like that. And then obviously
Yeah.
Sweet Dreams. The soundtrack
Yeah.
was pretty good.
No, soundtrack was for mostly songs that are like non like it's mostly kind of other music. It's not original music. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I just thought of, I briefly want to touch on is just how well the film is shot. Like,
Yeah,
just the way that Yorgos positions and moves the camera
camera.
is just so unique.
Yeah.
And he does it in all his films. So even
Yeah.
though this was little
What was
short,
your favorite like shot in the movie?
sorry, I was just getting a sip there. But
Very good.
my favorite shot in the movie, off the top of my head, let me think. I don't know. Trying to think. I'm trying to think of what shots stood out to me. There's a couple in the first short where Margaret Qualley, who's in the movie, who I forgot to mention, she's really good in the movie as well.
Yeah.
I really like her character in the third short. She plays twins. But in that first short, there's the scene where it's really the opening scene where she's talking with Arm. And just the way that it's shot, it's like he walks in the house, they walk through the back door, and they're talking like in the back. But most directors would just at that point cut and do a shot reverse shot of them just talking.
Mm-hmm.
But Yorgos kept the camera back, lingering, and the characters are framed through the door frame on the left side of the screen while the camera's far away. And it's just a really cool using the surroundings to frame the characters. And it's not something that you see a lot.
He does it multiple times in the movie, right?
Yeah, I just really like how he did that.
Yeah.
Just like naturally framing the characters.
Like there was one I think it was in a hallway, like and it's just like the way it was positioned, like it was further back, but it was like the exact frame of the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff like that. Really good blocking in his shots.
Yeah.
I like also in the third short, there's some scenes of Emma Stone when she's in the field. It's just kind of from far away, her character walking. I just liked how those were framed.
Yeah.
Did they have any significance to the story? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but
I mean, I mentioned before, I really like the ending shot of the second one. That was my favorite in the movie. Yeah, but like the color in the shot is really nice too. So it's like kind of like the dead Emma Stone is like really kind of black and mundane in the lighting in that area, and then on the other side of the frame is Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons' character. But like there's light from outside, like it's kind of illuminating everything in there.
Yeah, I feel like the meaning of that second one is like on the tip of my tongue.
I have no idea.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like we're breaking through to it.
I
just
maybe
can't.
you. I still have no idea. I don't know, man. Because like even the first third of the like that act like has absolutely nothing to do with the plot.
The first third of that one?
Yeah, because the first third is about the orgy stuff.
I mean, I guess it's kind of just showing the state of Jesse Plemons' character. But yeah, it doesn't have to do with Emma Stone or anything. Show up until a bit after that.
Yeah.
But, all right. I guess I don't really know what else to say about that second one.
Well, yeah.
That was probably my least favorite, though. Yeah, honestly,
I like this. I thought that was the funniest one. The second one.
It was funny, but I don't know. I thought the third one was probably funnier, which we can get to. Yeah. The third one is very confusing, though, and this one sort of solidified my theory that RMF was just added in randomly to just connect them, but serves nothing to any story and was kind of an afterthought. Because this one's titled RMF Eats a Sandwich, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the story at all.
Did that even happen in this? I don't even remember that.
It's a post-credit scene. So after all the credits roll, it just shows him eating a sandwich, and that's it. So it was funny. I mean, I respect that it was funny. Like, it knows what it's doing. Yeah. It kind of knows how stupid it is. But yeah, this one's really confusing. Before I say anything, I'll check because I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he wrote it with the help of someone whose name I'm not even gonna pronounce, but
So
this
like his
guy
writing
also,
partner.
yeah, he wrote a bunch of his other films.
Is it a Greek dude?
All right, I'll pronounce it. I'll try, bro.
Let's see.
Ephthymus Philippou.
Let
F
me see.
Ephthymus. I don't know how you pronounce that. He's born in Athens, it says. So
Oh yeah.
you see the name?
Uh,
Ephthymus. Ephthymus.
Ephemus Filippo.
I don't know. Regardless,
Yeah.
Yorgos was a writer though as well on it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so this third one is very confusing. I'm trying to think of where to begin. Do you
Yeah.
remember how it starts? I think it starts with them in
Um.
the hotel room, maybe. Emma
No,
Stone.
it
Or,
starts with
oh, it's
them.
the
Oh, fuck, they're at the. I don't.
it's the Hunter Schafer scene.
Yes. Yes. I just don't. They're in the hospital.
They're in a hospital, and this is like Hunter Schafer's role in the film.
Yeah.
The
I
scene
was kind
basically,
of. That's the one thing I thought she was gonna be in the movie more. I was kind of disappointed about that.
yeah, she was in a lot of the trailers, and her
Yeah.
name is on stuff. But she really just has this one scene where it's kind of like such a curveball with the movie starting. You're like, what the fuck is even going on? Because the scene basically starts. It's this waiting
And
room, or not a waiting room. It's like some
like
whatever.
it's like a waiting room in a hospital.
Yeah, and then Emma Stone is in this room with Hunter Schafer. Hunter Schafer's scale. She turns around. She's like fully nude. Her breasts are out. And then Emma Stone takes like a
Like
tape measure. And she's
sure.
measuring the distance between her nipples and like the distance between her belly button and her nipples. And she's like, perfect, perfect. Then they just like take her into another room.
And then
And
and Jesse Plemons' character's there, and then
yeah,
so is that the guy we can't pronounce his name.
yeah.
He's a doctor, so he like they're like, all right, you guys have like 5 minutes, and he goes and walks in a room, and
And
like
they take out what are the dead bodies called in the medical terms?
oh
Cadaver?
cadaver
Cada-
or
Cadaver?
cadaver.
Cadaver. We were close.
Yeah,
So they take one out and they basically tell Hunter Schafer's character, all right, go ahead. And then she starts like touching the body. And she says like, take life through my hands, or like with my hands I give you life, or something. And I guess it's
yeah.
implied, she's supposed to be trying to
Find the meaning.
bring this body
Yeah,
to life
that
somehow.
scene's actually really funny because it's like his foot moved. I saw it.
Yeah. But when you're first watching this, you're just like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
it doesn't
Like
make
it's
any.
so random and weird. But
Yeah, you're not even 100% at that moment when you're watching it. You don't really know what she's supposed to be doing either.
yeah. You don't know why she's like weighing her, taking these measurements.
Yeah,
It's just so strange. But and then yeah, obviously the body doesn't come. So Emma Stone's kind of like, yeah, sorry, you're not the one. And then she's begging. She's like, wait, can I try a different body, please? They just dip. That's Hunter Schafer's only scenes in the movie. Or scene. I thought it was a funny scene though.
yeah,
She was fine in it. She didn't really say much, but I think she was just kind of in it for the just the namesake, having like the name recognition.
yeah. Because I feel like she's a pretty big name now. Not big, but well known.
Yeah, and yeah, she was good, like I said. But so yeah, so now it's established that Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons are searching for someone who could bring back people from the dead for some reason.
Jesus. No, we just jumped. Okay, skip the crap out of me.
That's all right. But also, yeah, there's a really funny scene after that Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons get in the car, and Emma Stone's like, "Yeah, I didn't think it was her anyway. She has no humility," and then just like speeds off in the Dodge Charger,
Yeah,
like blasting the gas and making so much noise in this purple sports car. I just thought
yeah,
that scene was really well done,
it's
especially
funny.
with Emma Stone's line delivery there.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so they're camping out at a hotel, and it shows Emma Stone go to this random house and drop stuff off. in one of the bedrooms. It's like a young girl's bedroom.
Yeah.
She sort of douses the bed with water. Okay, another scene. What the fuck is going on here?
She doesn't, I thought she like puts a drop on it. I don't know if she.
Oh yeah, not douses it. What like
She puts like
spritzes
a
it?
little like spritz.
I meant yeah. I meant to say puts a douses. Probably the opposite. But yeah, you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then she comes back to the hotel. If you want to see your family, you could just tell me. I won't. Then she's like, no, I wouldn't even go see them. So now it's established that these two people are on the run from their families or whatever, and it's all these things, and you're like, what? Where is this going?
Yeah.
What is happening here? After that,
and then
you could explain this next part if you want, where they go to meet Willem Dafoe's character.
So they go to meet Willem Dafoe's character. I don't know why. They don't really say why he's looking for this person either. Right? Or they do?
They don't. I mean, they don't establish why they want to find someone who could raise people from the dead. But I guess it's sort of implied that... So Willem Dafoe is sort of the leader of this cult. But it's not like a demonic cult.
It's like a sex cult.
Or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of like a sex cult, but it's also just like a health cult, maybe? Because they only have sex with each other.
Yeah.
If they only drink from all the same water, and if someone has sex with someone outside of the cult, they could tell, and then they get exiled, and they're like,
well, what they make them do is this kind of made me think of like Salem witch type of vibes, where they like burn people. Not, obviously it's kind of different, but they like burn, because basically what happens is they accuse this woman of having sex with someone else. So there's a way they can prove herself. So they basically put this woman in a sauna for like, it doesn't say how long, but for an extended period of time. You see her like basically die in the sauna, and then like they bring out her body, and it's all like has burns and like kind of pus and bubbles. And I forgot who it was.
Hong Chow.
It was her. I don't remember who played the character, but
yeah,
she basically just like licks his body, or licks her body, and she's like, she's clean, and they all like start celebrating and stuff. And then there's just like the dead, burned body of the thing.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just like this one has a lot going on. But I think the fact that, and this is the one that I least understand out of all of them, but because you have this whole sex cult going on, where Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons show up, and Willem Dafoe is like, "Oh, so do you want to have sex with me, or do you want to have sex with my wife tonight?" And Jesse Plemons is like, "Well, you were pretty good last time, so if that's all right with you," and whatever. It's just like, the way that they speak and the things they speak about is just so nonchalant to them, but to the audience, it's obviously very strange.
Yeah.
And then all of this stuff is happening with the sex cult, and then there's also in the background, you have this thought of, what is going on with this chosen one who's going to bring people back from the dead, and how does it connect? Because they don't really establish how it connects. It's just like you have to infer how it connects.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly,
yeah,
the more I thought, like, I don't know how it really can, like, how does it connect?
I guess they just want that person who can bring people back from the dead. They want them to join the cult, I guess, and like be the spiritual figure. But there's a bunch of criteria that this chosen one has to have. One of which is that they have to be a twin, but their twin has to have died. So eventually Emma Stone meets Margaret Qualley's character in this movie, in this short film, who I think she was my favorite character in that one, at least. I like Margaret Qualley a lot.
Yeah.
Out of all three films, I liked her the best in the third. She plays a twin, and she's like, to Emma Stone, she's like, "Oh, I think my sister is the one you're looking for."
Oh, that's when she goes up to her in the diner, right?
Yeah. And at first they're just ignoring her because in the in the prophecy or whatever, it says that their twin has to have died, so it would be impossible for her sister to be the twin.
Yeah.
Or for her twin to be the chosen one because she's alive. But eventually, Emma Stone ends up getting kicked out of the cult.
Yeah,
And
we're not
she
even.
has,
I mean, we didn't even talk about that. There's also another subplot with like Emma Stone's family.
yeah. So you. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
there's so
it's
much
just
going
it's
on
so
here.
much to. I don't mean to cut you. Like it's
No,
hard to
no.
tell this story linear because like there's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, so I guess I'll backtrack to that part. Um, yeah, so like we mentioned, Emma Stone has this family that she's not allowed to see. Eventually, when she's going to drop off stuff in her daughter's room, she runs into her husband and the daughter, convinces her to come over for dinner one night. She decides, all right, I'll do it. But then the husband drugs her. He drugs her drink and like molests her.
They
So
raped her.
yeah. So she can't. When she goes back to the cult, they could tell that she had sex with someone else, even though obviously it wasn't her decision.
Yeah.
So she gets exiled because someone else had sex with her. So after she gets exiled, she gets kind of desperate, and she's like, you know what, I'll go back to that girl and find out her twin, even though she said that she's alive. So it wouldn't make sense. And her twin is a vet. So what happens is Margaret Qualley, the one who's not the chosen one, the other twin, she kills herself to fulfill the prophecy. And then Emma Stone goes to the actual twin, the one that's the chosen one, drugs her, takes her to bring her back to the cult for them to try to let her back in. And then on the drive there, loses control of the car, crashes, and the chosen one flies out the front window and dies. And then it just ends. It's
It's just yeah.
just like, what was the point of all this?
What did people do in the movie and then like do they clap or they laugh? Like what the
People were just kind of in shock.
it was,
I think it was me. It was kind of like a shocked laugh,
yeah.
but
It was not.
I
It's not. What was bad. I just was like,
I thought it was. I still like this one better than the second. I thought it
no.
was
I think
funny.
this is the worst one in my opinion.
I like Emma Stone as that lead character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
But
nothing against her. It's.
I understand what you're saying. The only problem was like that ending. It's just
Yeah.
we go through all this mess, all of these subplots going on. You finally get this girl that's the chosen one, and she just gets wrecked on the way home. She gets killed. Like, what was the point of this? What were we going through all this for? There's no definitive conclusion to this story. But it was funny. I'll give it that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was really fun. Honestly, it was one of the funnier movies to come out this year.
Yeah. And then also after that, after the girl dies, it goes to the credits. Then you see RMF eating a sandwich, and then the movie ends. But yeah, I just thought it ended weakly. I still think it was great though. Oh, like all stepping back and looking at all three stories, thinking of it as one film, I really enjoyed it. I guess we can move on to ratings if you.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah, you could go ahead. You could go ahead.
I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So 7 out of 10. I still enjoyed it, but it was just like really confusing, and I don't really understand some of the points of the movie. But it was still on its own. It's still enjoyable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I have a similar kind of mindset to you. I was definitely in between a 3.5 star and a 4 star, but I decided just to bump it up to the 4 star.
Yeah.
I really appreciated how ambitious it was. Think about when's the last time you've seen a director come out and release a trilogy of short films in one film. That in itself is ambitious.
Yeah.
As well as just the subject matter of the film. Very weird stuff that you don't really see nowadays, or ever, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard for me to not like something that Yorgos puts out, even just on the quality of the filmmaking.
Yeah, there's still like things that are enjoyable about the movie on its own. Like it's shot very well, it's funny, soundtrack's good.
Yeah, so like I said, give it a 4-star. I'm always looking forward to what Yorgos is going to do next, and his next film will have Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone, so we'll get to see them together in a feature-length film. So I'm excited for that.
It's based off of like a Korean book or something.
Yeah, it's called like Save the Green Planet,
Yeah.
but the new title is like it's like Bugonia or something. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
That's the title of the new one. So we spoke about it on one of our past episodes.
It comes out in November, I think, like November 2025.
Yeah, it's like the end of next year.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was. I'm sorry if we rambled a lot there, but there's just so much going on in that movie that it's hard to stay on track and give a cohesive, a cohesive breakdown of the movie. It would definitely help if you watched it, because you could at least have some
understanding of like what it's about. Yeah.
But all right, yeah. So I guess if you want now, we can move on to our news segment for this episode. There honestly isn't that much.
Yeah, there's not much news.
So the first bit of news that we got was something that I've been looking forward to for a while, which was the trailer for Nosferatu, Robert Eggers' film that's coming out this Christmas. And initial thoughts, it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I was blown away by this trailer. And it wasn't even that high up in my most anticipated for the rest of the year. I was definitely looking forward to Joker 2 over this. But this trailer completely sold me. And I know the original Nosferatu is something discussed on this podcast before. But this had that same exact vibe, but it just felt so perfectly modernized and just actually genuinely scary. Which was one of the issues that we had with that original. It was a little bit goofy. But yeah, I really just can't wait to see more.
Yeah. Did you get to see it like in theaters, or you watched it like here?
I didn't get to see it in theaters because like I mentioned earlier, that Bikeriders screening that I went to, that was an early screening. So it wasn't playing this before it. So I was very disappointed in that. One of my friends, he got a ticket to Bikeriders. Like, he also saw the movie early, and then he got a ticket to Bikeriders, went in to watch the trailer, and then left just to see the trailer on the big screen. But yeah, with the AMC pass, you can do
that. But yeah, trailer looks sick.
Yeah, just some crazy shots. That hand going.
Yeah, the hand. Street. Like, so there's a scene of kind of like, I guess the village or whatever. It's not. It looks more like it's like a big kind of city village type of thing, and like
kind of
just
town,
like,
whatever.
Yeah, there's like a giant like shadow of a hand like kind of going over the town. And
it's such a cool shot.
Yeah.
And you come to expect that type of stuff from Robert Eggers.
Yeah.
I like
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
It didn't show us too much, which I liked.
No, you don't even really see anything. There's like one shot of Nosferatu.
Yeah, and I kind of wish, I don't know if they'll do this, but maybe, don't show us the creature until that day that you go in to see the movie. I think that would be cool.
I think Eggers is not going to show us.
I feel like it is a big budgeted
Here's the thing,
studio film. So
if do they think that, cause what's his name, Count Orlok, right?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna give him like lines and stuff?
I would say
he's just gonna be like a creature.
I would say he's definitely gonna have lines.
Lines.
Yeah. The reason why they didn't do it in the original is because it's a silent film.
No, I know,
but I'm pretty sure he does say stuff.
But I'm just curious because could he just mean like he's gonna be more like humanoid where he speaks and stuff, or he's gonna be like more like an animalistic type of thing.
It seems like it looks
because I think he had hair. I was gonna see his hair.
He had that fire fur coat on.
Yeah, but he had a dog sitting next to him. That's actually a hard shot, dude.
Yeah, that was a great shot as well.
And I don't know if you were
standing in the doorway.
It's a copy of the shot in the original one where the door opens.
Yeah, like I said, this trailer, just from what I'm seeing, it looks like he's perfectly modernizing this film, and that is something that was not an easy task. No. Watching that original film, and when we talked about it on here, we discussed how difficult it would be to do this in today's age, but
Yeah.
it just seems like he got that perfect formula. Like I said, I could be overreacting. It is just a teaser trailer, but definitely have high hopes for this after seeing this trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to add anything else about
I
it,
mean,
but
pretty much. Oh, what did you think about what's that? Lily Deep, I think is her name, right?
Lily Rose Depp,
Lily Rose Depp, not Deep, motherfuckers.
the Deep
The Deep
from the
from
boys.
watching the boy. Yeah. What
Um,
did you think about her, in the trailer? Because I'm not. I don't know. That's the one thing that I'm kind of iffy about in the movie.
she looked all right. She looked all right. I haven't seen her in much. I've seen her in a couple films, but I know there's a big controversy because Anya Taylor-Joy was originally supposed to have this role,
She
which,
dropped out.
yeah, I think it was just scheduling conflicts,
Yeah.
probably with Furiosa. Um, but I don't know. I kind of like Lily Rose Depp here. I think,
I kind of like. I like the idea of him not solely using Anya in all his like kind of lead girl roles. So it's
mhm.
cool that he's doing someone else, but I don't. She's like really unproven. I haven't seen her in anything, and I know
She's
she's
def
in that show Idol, but
yeah, The Idol.
I've
I
heard
forgot
horrible
about. I
about that.
completely forgot about The Idol.
That's like that was probably her biggest thing that she was in.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this had already been ongoing before The Idol came out, thankfully. So her
Oh,
career has a chance to be saved.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna count her out. I think from the trailer, she looks like she's doing fine. So we'll see.
So yeah,
But all right, and in a massive tone shift, our next bit of news is that Eddie Murphy recently confirmed that a Donkey movie is in the works, where he will come back to
yeah.
reprise his role.
That's
I
actually
don't.
I'm 100% down. I mean, they did Puss in Boots really well, so I feel like it'll be fine.
Does Donkey have enough to carry his own movie though? I don't
Does
know.
Puss in, but like before you saw the Puss in Boots movie, did you think he had enough to carry his own movie?
I mean, he had his own movie. This was his second movie, to be fair.
That's fair.
But I
Fair.
see what you're saying. I feel
Is
like
this a
Puss in Boots.
story? But I feel like if I don't know, they're also it's also mentioned in the article that Shrek 5 is going to be coming out next year, and they're already 6 months into production of it, which is kind of crazy. But how little we've heard about it.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what they're gonna do with the animation style
I hope they
moving
like
forward.
they do more of like the Puss in Boots style because that movie was really the animation was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, the animation in that movie was great, and I feel like
Yeah,
that sort of fast-paced, almost comic booky kind of action
yeah.
is
I don't know
good
how.
for. It's
Yeah,
good for a character like Puss in Boots. Like same way it's good for Spider-Man. It's good for Ninja Turtles.
yeah.
How can you do Shrek in that style? I feel like he's not the type of character that
That's
fit
fair.
well in that
I definitely
animation
don't
style.
think it's gonna be like how they used to be, though. I think it's gonna be. Actually, I don't know, man.
I feel
I
like
don't
it
know.
might just be similar to the original films.
Yeah, probably.
I
I
hope
was
Mike
gonna say.
Myers is back.
Yeah, I think the whole cast is coming back. Cameron Diaz, Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy.
I'm hyped, dude.
Yeah,
I
no, I
like
don't.
I mean, I don't know about the Donkey film, but Shrek 5,
Yeah, Shrek
hell
5
yeah.
I'm pretty hyped for. I'm assuming Puss in Boots is gonna be in it because they kind of like tease it at the end of it.
Yeah, because at the end he goes to far, far away, right?
Yeah,
Or they're taking a boat there.
yeah,
I feel like it'll be sort of a soft reboot.
yeah. So do I.
Uh, like
But
it's the story is not gonna build on
no,
anything that really
no,
happened in the previous films. I don't think.
no.
Um,
But they also said the dragon wife and his kids are gonna be in the movie too, which is kind of funny.
yeah, we'll see how their relationships going on. Um,
I forgot
but all
about
right,
that movie.
yeah, that is just such a perfect thing for the world of Shrek. Just the most
Yeah.
random. Like Donkey is somehow has kids with a dragon.
Yeah,
All
but
right, we can
anyway,
move on
yeah,
now. This was probably I would say easily the biggest piece of news this week. You could go into this one a little bit.
yeah. So they started filming Superman in Cleveland, so people been able to get photos of the set, and we got like our first kind of set photo of the Superman suit. and I really like it. I know you like it, but I don't think you like it as much as I do.
It's definitely an improvement on that set reveal photo.
Yeah,
It's a lot brighter colors. I think the collar looks like it's slimmed down a little bit, and you really get a good look at those trunks with the bright gold
I
belt.
love
And
the trunk. Looks sick. Yeah,
I think the colors and the style of the suit look fantastic. I do think that it's a little bit loose fitting, which I don't love. I wish it was maybe a little bit tighter because you can't really see David Cornsweat's build,
I
which,
feel like it was. Yeah, he is big. He did put on a
he
lot of
worked
muscle.
so hard to get that
Yeah,
muscle. Why are you going to put him in this loose fitting suit where you can't really,
I
take
feel like
advantage of that?
the reason why they do that is maybe if they're filming certain action scenes and they need him like to move around, and they could just kind of touch it up in post.
Yeah, fair enough. I did actually see some behind the scenes that people were posting under of Spider-Man's costume in I think Homecoming
Hmm.
compared to the final film, and it looks loose while he's filming, but
Yeah,
then
I
the
think
final film is kind of
it's
like
more
tight.
of like a because think about it, and they're gonna be like you're filming fight scenes and stuff. Like you need to move around in these things.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
I can't really say much until we get like an official
Yeah. No.
trailer or
Um. But besides that, we also got our first look at Mr. Terrific, which I mean, he looks like just ripped off the comic page. Like,
yeah. If I was a Mr. Terrific stan, I
and
would
yeah,
be
I'd be
so hyped right
hyped.
now.
Yeah.
I just don't really know much about the
Yeah,
character.
I know he's supposed to be like really smart. That's like all I know. And he has like those like metal balls that he uses.
Yeah,
Um,
what do they like form into technology or something?
yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We also got confirmation that
What's a spoiler if
yes,
anyone
this
wants?
could be a spoiler. If you don't want to know any kind of characters, I guess that aren't confirmed for the movie going in, I
Just
guess don't listen to this part.
yeah, just skip ahead a little bit.
But Frank Grillo, who's playing Rick Flag Sr., is seen arresting Superman with the engineer and another character that's in an all black suit with a U on it, with kind of like goggles that at first glance remind me of the Doomsday kind of in the Death of Superman when Doomsday comes to Earth. He's wearing a green kind of suit with like goggles on it, and it kind of almost reminisces that. So people don't really know what that is. I have my own theories for it. I think Matt, me and you kind of have a similar idea of what it is.
Yeah, I know there have been some rumors floating around that some sort of plot point in the movie would be that Lex Luthor is gonna create a clone of Superman.
Yeah,
So the fact that there's this huge, bulky guy in a black costume that his
who
face is
happens to be the
completely
same
covered.
height and size as David Cornsweat is kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
To me, it feels like at the end they're gonna unmask him and it's gonna be a clone.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I also saw an interesting theory that that first original photo that we
Yeah, I
got
was going to
revealed
talk about that too. Is not his
of the
suit.
yeah, you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, so in the original photo, it looks significantly darker, the suit. And there's like slight differences in the suit. And I think actually today there was like scenes of Superman filming and he was in a darker suit. Like you couldn't really get the logo out, but you could see it's definitely darker. So people are kind of speculating like did his first reveal is that actually like an old like the clone suit or something like that? But
Yeah, maybe imagine that first
that's what
picture
I'm
we got
thinking.
of
Is
Superman is not
actually,
actually Superman.
I think it's Ultraman. Well, like they're gonna say it's Ultraman, but Ultraman in the comics is like it's basically an alternate universe version of Superman. It's just evil. Um, but in the movie, I feel like they're just gonna call it uh Ultraman, just as it's like a evil Superman.
Yeah. I'm
We
trying to
also
think
got
of
Lex Luthor was also on set,
oh yeah, Lex Luthor was on set. You can't really see
and
much, you just see
yeah, just his
his
bald
bald
head.
head.
And
He
then
had some
Guy
cuts on his head.
Gardner, who's played by
Nathan
um,
Fillion.
Nathan Fillion was also on set, but no, they weren't able to get any like photos of him.
Yeah, he was clearly covering his head
Yeah,
because that
but I'm
haircut.
I'm honestly really excited for the other suit reveals.
I know. I hope we get a real trailer soon. but I
Well,
feel like it's a
nah,
ways out.
I'm gonna say probably December for
Yeah,
July 2025 release.
maybe with Joker too.
No, October? Too soon. They'll
Yeah,
probably still be filming.
yeah, you're right.
I'd probably say
Manson.
whatever like the big December release date is gonna be like the first. We may get some. We're probably gonna get some looks at Comic-Con, like and probably some
Yeah,
updates on the
you
plot or
know,
something.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean, it looks really cool. Like everything looks really. I'm honestly really excited for the movie. The universe
yeah,
looks like all the set photos. It shows like Metropolis, and they have a lot of like in-universe brands. Like they have like Big Belly Burger is a big thing from the CW Flash kind of universe. So it's cool to kind of see that it exists in this universe too. Just little things like that like comic fans pick up on. It gets you really excited about the
yeah.
universe they're building.
I really enjoyed stuff like that as well. Just how James Gunn is fleshing out this world,
Yeah,
especially like with inclusions of characters like Rick Flag Sr.
yeah. Like if
Like
I would have
just
told
the
you
fact that
5 years ago that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's okay. You could finish your thought.
If I would have told you 5 years ago that they were going to reboot Superman and he'd have Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and like I don't know, there's like a bunch of other people in it. You'd be like, what kind of people? You'd be like, that's horrible. What kind of Superman movie is that? But
Or yeah, I'd be like, there's no way, especially
yeah,
seeing like the Snyderverse.
yeah. I love that he's starting the universe where there's already heroes that exist. Like Superman's not the first hero in the world on this earth. Like I like that there's going to be heroes are established already, and it's just like a normal thing in everyday life of people.
Yeah. All right, we could move on from that.
Yeah.
Uh, the next bit of news. This is a strange one. I just thought it was so weird that I wanted to mention it. Apparently, David Fincher is developing an English language Squid Game remake. I love
Yeah.
David Fincher. He's responsible for some of my favorite movies. But why is he doing this? I just don't understand. Why does this need an English language, especially so?
I feel like
They didn't
it's
even make
such
a
like a
second season.
yeah. It's such like a disrespect to the people that made Squid Games. It's just basically saying like we're too lazy to read subtitles, so we're just gonna make an English version for American audiences. Like it's just so distasteful and disrespectful, in my opinion, on Netflix's part. Not like you know, I'm not
Yeah,
trying to shit on David Fincher. I'm sure he could have a great idea for the story. I'm just saying it's like not. It's stupid, in my opinion, to do that. That's like if we made. I'm trying to think of like Japan made like their own Avengers movie. Like, it'd be stupid. Even though I know Squid Game's Korean, but I'm just saying like
yeah. No, I understand like why, from a consumerism standpoint, of an English language version probably would make more money.
yeah,
People who aren't or who are too lazy to read the little subtitles on the bottom will
yeah,
watch it. And the people who would read those are also going to watch it anyway. So it's going to probably do better. But the thing is, like, I'm conflicted because at one point I'm like, why does this need to happen? I'm personally not that big of a fan of Squid Game in general. I think it's overhyped.
it's okay.
But we're
Yeah,
talking about David Fincher here. We're talking about The Social Network, Gone Girl, Fight Club.
yeah.
Like, this could be amazing. But it's just so weird that he's doing a
Is
Squid
it a
Game
movie
remake.
or it's a
I'm
series?
assuming it's a show. I
Has he
think he
done
did another
shows?
show. Yeah,
Didn't he do Mindhunter?
yeah, Mindhunter.
A lot of
But I
people
think
like when I saw this was announced. Most of the comments were talking about why can't we get like Mindhunter?
yeah, Mindhunter is another season is everyone's asking for. It's just he kind of was like, all right, I'm done making Mindhunter. So definitely intrigued by the idea of this.
Yeah,
See.
we'll see. But
Yeah, you
uh,
you could talk about this next
yeah,
embarrassing
so we
thing.
got our first. In case anybody didn't know, there's a Hellboy movie coming out. Somehow it looks worse than the one that came out in what was it 2019 that I recently watched. Which is pretty ass. It literally looks like a CW straight to DVD movie. Like I'm telling you, I don't know. It just looks so cheap. Nothing even happens in the trailer. It's just like a bunch of people in the woods. All Hellboy does is like turn and look at the camera the entire trailer. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you?
And I remember maybe a couple episodes ago you mentioned to me about how there's a Hellboy movie coming out this year. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no way there's a Hellboy movie coming out this year because it would have been having some sort of hype up. There would have been something.
Yeah.
Now I realize why there was. This looks like a complete pile of shit. Like, I'm so confused. I'm really so confused as to what is happening here with this. It looks worse than Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, too.
Yeah, no, it actually
Legitimately.
does. Yeah.
But Hellboy is such a beloved IP.
Yeah.
And it's a franchise that brings in a lot of money, so you would think they would have a high budget. I just don't understand what this is and why this is getting made. It's actually getting me frustrated.
There's something like there's something about Hellboy being more in like a rural kind of setting is interesting to me. Like I think that's better because every time we see him, he's always in like a city or like all the like it's a major kind of giant event. The films like this seems more like he's just kind of on his own. Like it's just like a small little. That's a little interesting to me, but it looks like fucking shit. The trailer, like there's something in there that I'm
design.
I think the design. I mean, he usually just looks like a red guy with. Actually, I don't even. What does he look like? Hold on.
It looks worse than David Harbour's and Ron.
No, it does. But honestly, to be fair, David Harbour's looked promising when we first saw it.
Yeah. No, but his design, I think, is still good, regardless of how the movie is.
Oh, and it like this Hellboy iteration, you're saying?
No, I'm saying like David Harbour's design.
Oh no, yeah. I like
he
that
looked
it's like
good.
a beefy. Yeah, did you ever watch that one or no?
No, I didn't get a chance. Just it's one that's on my list, but
it had
that
some,
one actually.
Like, what?
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
Like the world they build is pretty cool. There's a lot of like interesting like creatures and demons and stuff, but it's just really poorly written and the plot's kind of stupid.
Yeah, that one has a famous. I don't know if you've seen. It's what is it? Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
The reveal.
The reveal. Yeah, I remember.
It's like it starts. The numbers are climbing. It goes all the way up to 95% or something, down to 3%. It's like the Hellboy tomato meter reveal. That's one of the
movie.
Nothing.
It's not like David Harbour's. Like he wasn't bad in the movie. It's just like.
Yeah, I'm sure he was fine. He's a good actor. He's good in Stranger Things. Good in Black Widow.
Good casting though for that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, we got our first look actually today, right?
Today.
At Gladiator 2, which looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna make a lot of money, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
All my friends that like don't watch movies were like texting me like, "Yo, did you see they're making a Gladiator 2?" Like, I had mad people ask me about that. I was like, "Yeah." Like,
yeah, I mean the first one is a beloved movie. Yeah. We talked about it on.
Yeah, we've talked about it on here. It is like I'm really excited for it, and honestly, the set photos got me even more excited. Honestly.
Yeah, me too. I like seeing these actors that we knew were going to be in it. I like finally like. Pedro looks amazing.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal looks awesome.
I think he's playing the villain, Pedro, right?
Yeah, he seems very villainous. Just look at his chest plate.
He reminds me of like what you call it? Kind of like Joaquin Phoenix character, like his kind of build.
Yeah. I could see that. Did you see Joe, whatever his face's name is, his character? The guy in Quiet Place Day One? Yeah. Looks strange.
Yeah, he has like. He's like that's the one that reminded me of. Yeah, he reminds me of Joaquin's character, like his kind of look.
Somewhat. I feel like. I don't know.
That's what I was talking about.
Somewhat. No, I'm talking about Pedro.
You think he's the villain?
He's fighting with Paul Mescal.
I think I think Joseph Quinn's the villain.
I think he might be one of the villains in it.
I feel like they're going to be fighting like in they're just gonna be fighting in the ring. It looks like they're in like a gladiator pit, like in
Yeah.
that shot. So they may be like they may they could release like they released the lions and shit like that.
Yeah.
But
I
we'll
guess we'll
see.
have to see. Yeah, the
Yeah,
pictures could be misleading.
but
For
I'm
sure.
excited.
Yeah, me too. This was another one that kind of it was in the back of my head of this out this see it. But now seeing these photos, I am really more excited for it. And I love Ridley Scott. So
Yeah, glad. Yeah, and this is gonna probably be Paul Mescal's like bit kind
break
of
out to
breakout. Yeah, because most of
the
the
general audience.
general
Yeah.
audience don't know. Like when I told them, all my friends thought that Pedro Pascal was the lead in this, and they're like, "Oh, like what did you think of him playing?" They thought they're like, "Who's he playing?" I was like, "He's a side character who leads this guy Paul Mescal," but then none of them who knew who he was. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's only really what is he in?
After Sun
After Sun
and Normal People, that TV show.
yeah,
But after that movie, After Sun, he started getting cast in a bunch of shit.
yeah.
But now we're
Oh, he
finally
was in that
starting
other one with I just saw it. All of Us Strangers. He was
Oh
in.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
But that was another, that's a small one about
yeah. It's
a
small.
gay
A
couple.
gay
Like
couple.
the
Yeah.
general public is not going to watch that.
No. Yeah.
Um,
But
but
yeah, I'm
yeah,
honestly hyped.
looks really good.
We'll probably get a trailer in the next couple days. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think they said July 9th, maybe.
Oh, really? Oh, so that's when all the. I feel like that they said that, and there's another one that's supposed to be coming out soon.
What is that? Is that next Tuesday, maybe? I don't know. But
yeah.
all right, you can talk more about this last bit because I don't know much about the details. I don't know if you know.
Yeah. So, it was announced a couple like days ago that on December 18th, 2026, that Denis Villeneuve was going to be directing a untitled event film for Warner Brothers. So people are like immediately started like speculating like what it could be. I even saw people say it was going to be like the next Kong Godzilla. I was like, there's no fucking way he's going to do a movie like that. But
His Godzilla would be sick. Though.
yeah, no, I'd be think about the scale of that movie, but
yeah,
I don't think he would do it.
No.
But yeah, so it was revealed that he had a change of heart. He was originally going to direct an alien movie. I forgot what the movie. It was based off a book called. Man, you probably know what it is.
Yeah, Rendezvous with Rama.
Rendezvous Rama.
I have the book sitting right in
book?
front of me right now. I read some of it.
Is it good?
I kind of put it down. Yeah, it's good. It's very strange. As I was reading it, I was kind of
yeah.
It's basically like, not to get too off topic, but
yeah.
It's in the future. They just find this floating object. It's a massive floating object in space, and they realize it's a spaceship, and they go inside, and there's just nothing in it, in the entire thing. That's what I'm up to so far.
Yeah.
What happens after that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry to get
but
off
definitely topic. That sounds like something. But anyway, he had a change of heart, and he's actually going to be directing Dune 3 first. I don't know if this was more like. Do you think this had any studio pressure? Because they know, like, off of the hype of Dune 2 and how well it did, they want to get.
They could have. Warner Brothers could have came in with a huge offer talking about.
And it's not like, and from his point of view, it's not like he doesn't want to do Dune 3. Like he was. That's his next film after this one anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, he has a couple films lined up. He has Rendezvous with Rama. He has
Cleopatra.
There's another one he was doing called Nuclear War.
Nuclear War.
And Dune 3. So 4 movies on his plate. He's probably looking at everything, thinking, when is the one? He's probably thinking, when is the best time for me to make each film?
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I might as well just do Dune first. Just get it over with. Not that he's like, oh.
No, yeah. But honestly, it's probably better for the cast because age-wise and stuff too.
Yeah, and also better for the studio and just capitalizing
on the hype.
Because December 2026 still far away, but if that's like the close date of it, that's like an early date.
That's not like the worst. That's like a 3 years from when the original came out. Less than 3 years, honestly. When did Dune 2 come out?
2 was March of this year, I want to say.
Yeah.
So the third month of the year, and then
So it's basically 2.5 years from now, which
Yeah.
isn't bad. That's not a bad turnaround. But I feel
No,
like the
no, no.
ones
What I mean by that is saying,
what?
oh, he's gonna do it first, and it's gonna come out. What if he decides to do it like third? When would it come out?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like,
That's fair.
so it does make sense because how long would we really wait for?
Wait, yeah,
You know. Um,
that's exciting though.
but yeah, there's that other in the headline. That other
Oh
part
yeah,
that's
so
interesting.
the most interesting thing of it all is now it's going to be releasing the same day as the new Star Wars movie that's coming out on December 18th, 2026. So kind of interesting that the thing that inspired Star Wars is going to be releasing. Now it's such a big kind of almost like I don't want it's not Star Wars level, but like it's a major sci-fi franchise. Like it's definitely not. It's a household name now. I think most people know what
Yeah,
Dune is.
definitely.
Um, but
Do you
yeah,
think it's
I
gonna
don't
be?
know which Star Wars movie this is. Is it like the Mando one or it's the Rey
I
like
think it's
New
the
Jedi
Ray.
Order?
I saw something that the Mandalorian started filming that movie.
Really?
Yeah, there was like a rumor, but if it's a rumor that
Um,
started filming, it's got you know.
You think? Yeah. Well, we'll see. I
But
mean, if it's the Mando one, they might leave it. If it's Rey, they're definitely gonna change it.
no, I don't think it's the Mando one because I'm pretty sure when that release date got announced, I remember it wasn't December. Because I know
It was
all
like
Star Wars movies.
July, but I thought it got
Yeah,
moved.
it was like a summer. It might have. I don't know. Do you think this is going to be like a Dune Wars situation, or are they going to not do it on the same
No,
day?
I don't think they're gonna do it just because like it's kind of a similar type of movie. They're both big sci-fi events.
Yeah, and also I'm willing to
So
guarantee that like Dune would be
yeah,
exponentially
no,
bigger
yeah, it
than
doesn't.
whatever this
Yeah,
Star Wars movie is.
no
So it wouldn't make
disrespect
sense.
to the mouse and all, but they're not sniffing Dune 3 in terms of quality.
Yeah, definitely not.
But not to
Um,
say I'm not excited for what the new Star Wars stuff. But
yeah, I'm still into that schlocky Star Wars, whatever that
I mean, you
nerdy.
gotta watch. I know people shit on Acolyte, but it's honestly had some of the best fight scenes in all of Star Wars. They actually feel like they're using the lightsabers and not just waving them around.
I've heard. Yeah, but what about all those right-wing people that says there's
Yeah, no,
lesbians
because
just wizards? Then what?
nah,
What do we do?
there's like one episode that like there's like this cult of witches, and it's like they just mention that there's like these two people who date. It's like one scene that they just say that like um
Yeah, no, it's
yeah
funny though because you could see on Twitter, I'll randomly get in my these super right-wing accounts, things like look what Disney's doing to Star Wars, and you could tell it's like so biased. I haven't even
yeah
watched The Acolyte, and I could just tell that it's
yeah. No, it's funny because this one's actually like the show's doing well, like in terms of
yeah.
viewership. Like
No, and
people like,
yeah, I will admit like Disney definitely does virtue signal
oh
stuff
no,
like that,
yeah, I'm not
like
denying that.
100%. But
Yeah,
like it's not as excessive
as
as
they make it
these
seem.
people make it out to be.
Yeah,
But um,
but yeah,
yeah, no, I'll pick up The Acolyte at some point.
yeah,
Just haven't gotten around to it. All right, so I guess we could move on now to our top 10. You want
yeah,
to introduce this one?
yeah. So we did. My list is definitely out there. But it's our top 10 TV shows. A lot of mine are animated, which is surprising, honestly. I thought I would add a little more live action ones. But I'll start off mine. So my number 10 show is Regular Show, which Matt, I think you've obviously watched that.
Yeah, I've seen Regular Show.
Yeah. So it's basically an animated cartoon that came out on Cartoon Network, and it's about a raccoon and a blue jay that work in a park, and it's just about like kind of their like misadventures. But the show is just like so
It's so much
kind
more
of,
than that.
yeah.
The
There's I don't even
plot
know.
points go to like cosmic levels.
Yeah,
Based on what you said, you would not think
you would
that.
not expect it's anything but regular. Is the show? It's kind of funny because it's probably the most insane show.
Yeah. And
But
that's I feel like that was sort of the tail end of our childhood was when that was
yeah,
playing on Cartoon
like I don't
Network.
think I like I didn't when I stopped. I eventually finished the show, but like I remember when I was younger, like he gets like a new girlfriend in like the newer like seasons and stuff, and I didn't really like keep up with that. But they're like honestly pretty just as good as the original ones.
Hmm. Yeah, I got you.
But they
Um
recently said they're gonna do a revival show.
Yeah, I know they said Adventure Time too. They're gonna,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
Mm.
I guess for my number 10, and I just want to preface this by saying I don't really watch TV, so my list is not going to be the best. There's definitely ones that I'm missing: Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, stuff like that. That's just classics that I've never seen.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so number 10, I actually have something that is currently airing, which is House of the Dragon. Not a little spoiler, it's not as yet. So Game of Thrones higher up on my list, but it has that same vibe.
Yeah.
I'm
And
really
it
starting
has
to,
the potential to be just as on par as Game of Thrones, I think.
yeah, and I'm starting to fall in love with the characters now. Now that we're getting more fleshed out into season 2, just the
Yeah.
relationships and like the political nature of the show. I'm really enjoying it, especially in combination with the setting and the aesthetic.
Yeah. Hmm. Right. So for me, for number 9, I have a show called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So this is an anime. It's a show from Japan, based off a manga. Um, I don't even know where to start with this show. It's essentially in the first 2 seasons. It's about the whole show is about a bloodline of people called the Joe Stars, and they all have like a birthmark. It's like a star. So in the first 2 seasons, it's about they have this thing called Haman, which is like I don't. It's like energy or whatever. But that's kind of like okay. But the show gets really good when they have these things called stands. So it's kind of just like almost like an avatar that kind of extends out of them, and like each one has like its own ability, and they all just kind of and they're all named after like musical references, which is kind of interesting too. And I know Matt. I don't know if you heard of this show, Matt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've watched a couple episodes with you.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah,
But it's also like the show's really out there in terms of like the comedy and like character choices and stuff. The animation is beautiful too, and the stands are like cool designs and the fights are great. But yeah,
yeah. Spoiler: I have no anime on my list. Not a
yeah,
big
I
anime
kind of
guy.
figured. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, all right. So I'll give my number 9. For number 9, I actually have the BoJack Horseman from Netflix, the animated show.
Hmm.
This is one that I kind of just randomly stumbled upon when I was young. This kind of looks interesting. It looks like it would be sort of that stupid humor, but it ends up being by the end so much more than that. It's actually
Yeah. I know
one
it
of
doesn't get like really deep.
yeah, it's one of the most deep and existential shows that I've ever watched.
Yeah,
Um, very underrated, although I feel getting more appreciation as time passes. And I honestly want to rewatch it, so I might do that soon. Let's see. But yeah,
yeah.
I love some books.
Yeah. Um. All right. For number 8, for me, I actually had the Justice League cartoon that me and you grew up watching. And this is kind of like the reason why I put this on my list is because it was really my first introduction to all the like kind of DC superheroes like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, like the villains and all like the kind of how they interact and everything. And honestly, the show is really good. I've actually restarted rewatching episodes now, and they kind of cover like cool plot points from the show, like from the comics, kind of in little quick 20-minute episodes. But it was really my first introduction into like the DC kind of movie, well, like I guess kind of media.
Mythos.
Yeah, mythos. That's a good word.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember watching that much as a kid.
Really?
But yeah, I don't know. What was it? Was it on Cartoon Network or no?
Yeah. You'll know like the design. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
But all right. For number 8, one that I definitely remember watching as a kid, I have SpongeBob SquarePants at number 8. Had to be on my list.
Yeah, I figured
I
out.
wanted to put it higher, but I had to hold myself back a little. Because, it is a kid show. Not to take anything away from it, SpongeBob has some of the best episodes of television ever conceived.
Yeah.
And it is so relevant still in our everyday lives, in pop culture in general.
Yeah.
they're still making like SpongeBob movies to this day. I think there's like
Yeah,
a Sandy movie coming out this year.
yeah. They still make SpongeBob episodes too.
Yeah, but I could go back and pick probably like 20 to 50 episodes that are just iconic that everyone knows. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I had to pick one as a favorite episode. I don't know. I
I don't
like
know, dude.
the Krabby Patty. Well, that's a very general statement. The one where
Yeah.
Squidward eats the first Krabby Patty.
Oh yeah. What's the
Obviously.
one where SpongeBob goes to like that other town? And it's supposed to be like it's like mad dark and like ominous and shit.
The Deep something,
Yeah.
or I forget what it's called, but yeah, there's the bus that like every time he turns around, keeps moving. Oh, you know what? You know what's my favorite episode? I think
Well,
where he has to work his way, where SpongeBob has to work up that karate tower. Do you remember that?
oh yeah. What does he have to wait, what did you say? I'm sorry.
I think like Sandy's captured or something, and
Oh,
he
no,
has
no,
to.
no. It's SpongeBob's captured and Sandy goes to rescue him.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
She has to
It's like
fight all the
do the like
all.
it's yeah, I actually forgot. That was a really good episode.
I remember that one scene where I think she sprays that karate master's lips with
The
the
chapstick and puts the
hair
fan on it.
dryer or something. Yeah, something like
No, she
that, and
puts
like just
chapstick on his lips and puts the hair dryer on it, like freezes his lips.
yeah, like karate chops his lips. I
Yeah.
really remember that scene for. Um, but yeah, I feel like I
What-
could talk about
Oh, it
so
was called
many.
Karate Island.
Yeah, that was a great episode, man.
Yeah.
I could go all day talking about SpongeBob episodes. That's why I wanted to put it higher than 8 on the list, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So
Look up you ever see the picture of like Sandy when she's all beefed up like at Karate Island?
now I have to look this up.
Look up
See.
just look up Sandy Karate Island.
Let's see. Karate Island Sandy. It's not coming up. You know what's coming up though? That
What? They one of her in like the Kill Bill suit.
well, yeah, that's also funny.
Yeah.
Was that? But no, I was thinking of that green guy. That's like
Oh,
like
the
the last one.
master. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, that really is one of the best episodes, man.
Yeah, I forgot about that episode. This bro, it's like it's
I
just like
could
her with the like ball on her head, but it's just like her like just jacked out of her. It's mad fun. All like the clothes ripped off her.
yeah, like I said, I could go on and on about
Yeah.
SpongeBob, so I'll cut myself off there.
Yeah. Uh
You're at
um,
7 now.
7. So 7 for me, I actually had the first season mostly, but of Daredevil on Netflix. I feel like this really pushed the envelope for TV superheroes because we never really got a good, like, I feel like, especially like gritty superhero show like this before. This kind of set the precedent now of the standard now of like how superhero TV shows should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a
Like
great
this,
show.
yeah,
I
this is
remember
the
watching
goal.
them
It
as
was
they came
so
out.
the fights are great. Like the characters are really good. You know, like it's so popular that all the actors from the original show are even gonna pop up like they're in the movies now because that's how popular the show was.
Yeah,
But I mean, the older bit like Kingpin was great. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is like one of the one of the best castings
yeah,
I think Marvel's done.
he's been in a couple MCU projects already.
Yeah, and it seems like he's gonna be like kind of a big player going forward in like the future of the MCU.
Yeah, definitely.
But
All right, so for number 7 for me, I actually had an anthology series, Black Mirror, which it's hard to group this all into one, but I would say most of the episodes keep that same quality of, high quality television. There's a bunch that I could think of. I think my favorite episode where he's that Starship Commander. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I don't really watch.
Black Mirror is great.
Yeah.
Each episode just has a completely different storyline. A lot of it is kind of the crazy, mind-bending plot twist at the end.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like strictly horror focused. A lot of them are sci-fi. But yeah, it's a great series. I would say the most
I've watched
recent.
like some episodes of it.
Yeah, the most recent season I didn't think was that great, but there is one werewolf episode that's kind of cool.
Oh, is that like I saw something online about like horror this year, and there was like a picture of a werewolf, and I was trying to figure out what movie it was from.
No,
Maybe it
because I
was
don't
from
think
there.
I'm pretty sure Black Mirror was last year or
Oh,
the year
last year?
before.
Oh, never mind.
So, all
But
right, you get I think 6 for you now.
yeah. Six, I actually had the Eric Andre show. I don't know if you've seen this show. Eric Andre's a comedian. And on the show he kind of interviews like celebrities, but he just kind of fucks with them for like the whole time. But they think they're going for like a regular interview, and he just has like I don't know, like I can't even
Yeah, I've
explain it.
seen clips of it.
It's very, very like you have to like this type of comedy.
It's a
It's
lot
not
of
for everybody.
slapstick humor.
Yeah, yeah. Like he goes on the train, like pours milk on it, like stupid shit.
Yeah, that's funny. I really haven't sat down and watched
You
episodes.
gotta. Yeah, I'm
To be
surprised
honest.
because it's those shows are so funny.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
6 for me. I have Game of Thrones. A lot of people say this is the best television series ever made. I would say it would be up there, aside the ending, which is such a tired statement, but it's true. They just fumbled so hard. I don't even want to talk into it, but I will say if I had to pick a season, I think season 1 was the peak. I don't think they ever quite reached those levels again.
Yeah, the end of season one's insane. I remember watching that, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Holy shit!" Like you just you don't expect it.
Such a great show,
Yeah.
and ruined by an ending, sadly.
Yeah, low key ruined by Star Wars.
Yeah, that is
Think about
I
it.
don't know if you want to explain that
Yeah.
that statement, but yeah, you're right.
So basically, the writers of Game of Thrones, I don't know their names, but they got hired by Disney to write the next Star Wars movie, whatever, next franchise. So they kind of wanted to rush the kind of production of Game of Thrones. So they kind of just put out the fastest script possible, not really considering the quality of it, just so they could work on the Star Wars film. And obviously, the Game of Thrones came out, and it was horrible. And then what's funny is because of the bad reception, Disney actually fired them from working on any Star Wars stuff. So now I don't think they do anything now.
Yeah, that's just a fucked up story, dude.
Yeah,
It's so sad.
yeah.
But all right, yeah. So why don't you give your number 5?
But yeah. Anyway, enough about ruining their lives. Number 5, I had Loki, which it's only 2 seasons and it's more recent, but it's honestly probably in terms of quality the best thing Marvel's ever done. It's like the show is so good. You're so like ingrained in the characters. Loki's such a good character. As much as I hate the fuck's his name? Jonathan Majors. He's also fantastic in season 2. Like everyone in it is really good. Like in Loki, even like what the hell's his name?
Ke Huy Quan.
Not him. His partner in it.
Oh, Mobius.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Yeah.
He's fantastic in this as well.
Yeah.
And this is another one like on par with Daredevil, where this is the standard of TV show. Like when DC stuff comes out, like with the TV shows, it should be on par with this, in my opinion.
No, I would put Loki on Loki's not on my list, but it's definitely close. I felt like it's more of a limited series. Not that
I have limited series on here.
Yeah, I just feel like I personally wanted to go more for like
more TV. Oh,
yeah,
fair.
like serialized TV.
Fair.
But all right, so number 5, another show that's currently airing, The Boys, and it would honestly be higher. It's definitely my favorite TV show out now, and it's probably one of the best that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I love The Boys.
Crazy how they're on. It's 4 seasons and every single season is good.
Yeah. But it's still running, so I don't want to put it that high yet. They could fumble.
We'll see how they end it off next season's the last season.
And Anthony Starr as Homelander is genuinely one of the best performances I've ever seen. Not only in television, but also counting movies as well. It's insane.
That last episode alone was like probably the best he's been as Homelander.
Yeah, definitely up there. And it's crazy how he hasn't been nominated for. I don't. I
Yeah,
guess maybe it's the superhero
hero
genre.
thing. Yeah,
I don't know. But even a Golden Globe, give him
yeah, I know
something.
that's crazy. Is he in any like movies? Is he in movies or not
He
really?
was in Guy Ritchie's The Covenant from last year. He had a small role. Aside from that, I don't really know any films that
I know he's like the big fan cast for Reverse Flash,
I could see that. I feel like
but
they might
honestly,
go
that's kind
someone
of
a little
boring.
bit younger, maybe.
That's so boring though for like because that's just basically he's playing like it's like an evil Flash same kind of
It's
Homelander
definitely
vibe.
like, yeah, it's definitely typecasting for sure.
I saw someone said he should play Dracula in the Blade movie.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but
You know who I would like as Reverse Flash? Um,
who?
the guy who plays Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, he's another one. The guy who plays Dexter was another guy, but he's too old now.
Yeah.
But
Um,
anyway,
all right.
um, what are we on? Number four, number five,
Number 4 for you.
four. So number four, I have. I know people will say recency bias, but X-Men '97. Um, I was never really a big fan of the X-Men growing up. Like we watched the movies, but I never was like not like I had Wolverine posters in my room and stuff. But this show like sold me on the X-Men. I'm now like I'm going forward. The X-Men is what I'm most excited for in the MCU out of anything else. They're just such compelling, good characters, and the stories like actually have like a deeper meaning to them. Obviously, they're when they were created, it was more of like a representation for civil rights and stuff like that. But a lot of the issues like still exist today, and that's why I feel like their stories are so relevant with this today, with what's going on now. So I'm very very excited for X-Men going forward, and this show is fantastic. The animation is beautiful, the stories are great. It feels just like it's awesome. Like it's just this characters pop in and out. Because now that Marvel owns Fox, they could just use all what's his name? Captain America was in this show. Like there's just so much going on in the show, and the plot's really good. I'm so excited for season two. Matt, I know I really want you to watch it. I tell you about it all the time.
I will eventually.
Yeah,
It's definitely on my list. But
yeah. I just it's
I
such a step up in
appreciate,
their animation department, in my opinion.
yeah, I appreciate like just from what I see of it in on people posting clips on Twitter, like looks fantastic. I I
Yeah,
will get to it. I
yeah.
promise. All right, so for me now, number 4, I have The Walking Dead. This is one
Okay.
that I have very fond memories of because I used to watch it with my dad every when the new episodes came out. And the beginning seasons were genuinely really great television. Rick Grimes is one of the best television characters, in my opinion, that I've ever seen.
It's the
We
guy
got
who
some,
did Invincible too, right?
yes, Robert Kirkman.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason I thought you meant Andrew Lincoln was an Invincible. Um, but
No.
yeah, anyways, and some of the greatest villains that we've seen as well. Shane, played by John Bernthal. Then you also had Negan. He kind of came towards the end. When Negan showed up to the show, there was probably like 2 good seasons after that, and then I didn't watch the rest. So that's why it's not
Is it
higher. It would be
does
higher,
it
but
does it get bad because of uh is it in the comics is it just as bad or it's more just like
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I kind of put it down just
yeah. I know
because.
it's based off a comic.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't know
know.
that when the show was out. Like I thought it was just like an original.
In the show, Negan ends up becoming good, even after he like brutally murdered a
Murders.
bunch of the members.
Yeah.
I don't
Doesn't
know
he like
what.
smash what's his name's head?
Yeah, Stephen Young.
Stephen Young's head.
Yep, he smashes his head into a million pieces. But yeah, I know it supposedly gets worse. I haven't seen, you know,
Yeah. But
that far. So
I know it's pretty obviously really popular. And there's still even spin-off shows going on now.
yeah, there's multiple spin-off shows.
Yeah.
So
But yeah. Um so for number three, this is the last live action show I have on my list. I actually have a limited series called Chernobyl, which is about the. It takes place over the course of like a couple days of the events of Chernobyl, and I really didn't know anything about this until I like watching this, and from what I've read, it's pretty accurate. Like it has a lot of good stories. You learn about what actually happens there, like how the government basically tried to cover it up. Like they didn't want to tell the people what was going on. Did you see? I think you've watched it, Matt, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, but you like it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's like Barry, right?
Yeah,
Barry Keoghan's
Barry's
in
in
there.
it. Yeah, yeah. He's not.
Yeah,
He's only in like one episode though.
yeah, I think I watched it for him. I don't really remember.
His
I remember
episode,
liking
like
it.
he's like a soldier and they're like out. They have to go kill like the stray dogs because they
Yeah,
like carry the radiation.
yeah. To be completely honest, I kind of tossed it on and wasn't fully locked in,
Oh, really?
so I didn't.
You
I don't think I
should.
appreciated it
You
as
gotta
much.
lock in, do that. That
Yeah.
really, really good show.
Um,
My only gripe is that it's not in Russian. I feel like it's really stupid. It's in English.
yeah, but that goes back to what we were talking about with Squid Game earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
What's his name's in it too? Actually, Skarsgård. The older one.
not Bill,
Uh, hold on,
Alex,
wait. Maybe not Skarsgård. Hold on, let me look up.
Stellan.
Yes.
How old are we talking here?
Older. I'm probably thinking. Oh yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. Yeah,
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
yeah. He plays like one of the like Russian kind of scientists trying to convince the government like to not tell people, to tell the public and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I gotta rewatch that.
yeah, that show's really good.
All right. Number 3 for me, a classic of when I was younger, The Office. Has its ups and downs, but this is a show that
I know we have fond memories of it.
yeah, definitely one of my favorites from when I was in middle school. I would just randomly toss on episodes to have in the background. I thought it was hysterical at the time. Looking back, it isn't as great as it was when I was young, but it still is very funny. Has great character. Obviously, Dwight is
Yeah,
goofy and funny. He was. Michael Scott, obviously, he's the lead.
yeah.
And yeah, aside from how just the overarching story of the whole thing, of Jim wanting Pam and together, family, it's very satisfying story, and the way that they
story,
yeah, when they end everything, it's also very satisfying. I'm pretty sure the last episode is it's Dwight's wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the one.
and they bring back all the actors and
Yeah,
just great. Yeah, love The Office.
they're actually doing an Office kind of. It's not a reboot, but it's a show takes place, I guess, in the world of The Office, but it's about like a paper company. Not a
Yeah,
paper company, a journal, like a newspaper company. Like
pretty
right,
sure it's
like
isn't it called The Paper?
it might be called a paper, yeah. And it's the
Yeah.
guy who plays. He's in.
It's
He's in
it's Domhnall Gleeson.
the dude. He was in Mother. He was in Star Wars.
Yeah, he's in The Revenant. He's in Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
yeah.
He plays a Weasley. You didn't meet him yet, and where you're up to.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know
He
he was from
plays.
Harry Potter.
He plays a Weasley.
Hmm,
So
interesting. Yeah. All right. So for number 2, I have Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is probably in my opinion, the best American-made TV show ever made. It's has such a
wait, hold
cultural
on. Run that sentence back. The best American-made TV show.
animated TV show ever made. It's animated. It's just like for a kid show, has such a good story and like such deep meanings, and I really do like it. Aang is like basically kind of like a chosen one character, and I mean it's so popular. They have the movie coming out in 2 years. That's gonna be like about them as like adults. They have like a new show they're gonna do. They have the live action Avatar, which I think actually did really well. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I think right. I don't know. I don't know the numbers.
Yeah, no, it did well. I mean, I know they're doing. I think they're shooting season 2 and 3 back to back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to. The kid's like not gonna be that young from there long.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, I know you
yeah,
tell me to watch this. This is one that's obviously very popular.
yeah.
But all right. Um, so yeah, number 2 on my list is The Simpsons. This is another
Oh,
one that
that's a good one.
yeah, I remember watching this a lot as a kid because when it came to those adult animation shows, in terms of what our parents, we couldn't watch Family Guy, that was for sure.
No,
Couldn't watch South Park.
definitely not.
Um, and yeah, those were a little bit, too much. But The Simpsons it's a little bit edgy, but it's not
Not too
as
much. Yeah,
severe. So we always would watch those as a kid. I have memories of us driving down to Florida,
yeah. We
13-hour
had
drive,
the
just having the DVD of The Simpsons playing in those old, um, TVs that were
TVs
in
in
the
the
back of
back.
the
Yeah,
cars. And yeah, I really still love the show. It's definitely a comfort show that I'll toss on an episode just to hear
yeah.
Homer's voice, kind of thing.
I like the Treehouse of Horror stuff too.
Yeah, those were cool. And it's still really popular. Like there's the
Yeah,
Simpsons Land in
Universal.
Universal. Um,
You're right.
and in terms of animated families, I think they're the most goated. I also love in terms
Yeah.
of visual style, just yellow. It's
The
like such a
yellow.
little thing, but just it makes the world a little unique.
Yeah.
You like if you see a character, you instantly know what show it's from. 'Cause they're
Yeah, yeah.
yellow,
But anytime you see like a yellow, like anything like a yellow character in any other show, you kind of instantly think of The Simpsons.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, this is probably a toss up for number 1 too, but
yeah. I think you know what my number one's gonna be.
I don't know. Spit it out.
Right? So my number one is One Piece, which I actually have not finished yet. I know that sounds crazy, but the show has right now currently like 1,200 episodes. So I'm more than halfway through the show. So I think I've watched a fair enough to have an opinion on it. It's
Hmm.
by far the best world building of any show I've ever seen. The characters are really cool. The power system, the way the world works is really good. There's just so much to love about the show. It's like a worldwide phenomenon now. It's like, I mean, when I first got into it, it was popular, but now I feel like it's even more popular than it was. Like now they're
Yeah.
doing collabs with the NFL. Like, it's crazy how people
Yeah,
used to get
and
bullied for watching this like 20 years ago.
anime in general, I would say, is just
Yeah,
more mainstream now.
yeah,
Like you're seeing the live action. We just had the live action one. You said even our mom watched it.
yeah. My mom
So,
liked the live action One Piece, which is
yeah,
crazy.
it's so weird.
Yeah, but
But yeah, no. Now that you said that, I definitely should have.
yeah, it's always by far my favorite show. I would probably gonna take me a long time to catch up, but eventually I'll get there.
All right. Yeah. So let me give my number 1 now. This is definitely gonna be controversial, but for my number 1 pick, when it comes to TV shows, I mainly watch for the dumb humor.
Yeah,
I just kind of want to toss something on and just
I feel like
turn off my mind a little bit and not have to think as hard for when I watch like a serious movie. Now that's not always the case, but I just want to defend myself a little for this number 1. But yeah, so for number 1, I have Parks and Recreation,
what?
which, yep. Is that a shock to you?
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched it. I don't know.
It's basically The Office,
But
but
like,
better, in my opinion. I think it's
really,
funnier. I think it has better characters.
I say
I
it's on
think
par with The Office.
I think it's better than The Office. It had the start of a bunch of actors: Pratt, Plaza,
Yeah, that's
Amy
true.
Poehler. I mean, that wasn't her start, but
No, yeah, no, I know, but like,
you
obviously,
got, Aziz Ansari. You
oh
say his name.
yeah, forgot it.
Um, his character's really funny.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen a lot of the show.
no, I watch a show.
Yeah, I love it. It's hysterical.
No, it's funny. Yeah, I didn't expect you to have it. I don't know why.
Yeah, like I said, because in terms of those sort of dumb comedies, that is my favorite, and that's like what I look for the most.
Yeah.
So, yeah, love Parks and
Um,
Rec. But
yeah.
just one last honorable mention that I
Yeah, I have
forgot
an
to
honorable
include.
mention too.
I just completely forgot to include it on my list.
What?
Shameless.
Really? Oh yeah, actually, a lot of people like that show. I've
I
watched a
love
couple
Shameless.
episodes.
That's like the reason why Fiona has her name, because of Fiona Gallagher. Our dog is named
What?
Fiona
I
because
thought it
of
was because Mom saw the F on the
she
sheet
saw
because
the
it said she
F,
was
but
female.
I suggested the name Fiona,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and she took it. But I didn't tell her that it was actually because of Shameless.
Oh, I didn't know that. You watched Shameless at the time?
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
yeah.
I named my cat after a character in One Piece. That's kind of funny.
What was your honorable mention though?
A show I actually started recently, which was Smiling Friends, which is honestly one of the funniest shows I've watched in a very long time. It's fucking hysterical, but it's very, very, very slapstick. And I mean, Matt, you recently started watching episodes.
Yeah, it's like brain rot.
Yeah, it's definitely for like our generation. Like if we showed, like imagine we showed like a dad an episode of that.
Yeah, dude, he actually was watching some like over my shoulder at the shore.
Really?
He was like laughing at some parts, but like a character would walk in, like in the first episode.
Yeah.
There's that whole thing with the character who's trying to kill himself and he's holding the gun
Yeah.
on him. There's a
Hmm.
scene where they're at an amusement park, and I was watching it with my cousin and two of my cousins. My dad walks in and he starts watching. He's like, "Why doesn't that guy have any pants on?" Because like the guy who was holding it to his head just was in his underwear in the amusement park. But it's like, how is that the first thing you say going on?
That's
Like,
funny.
it's just like an adult can't even comprehend
Yeah.
looking at.
It's
So
it is like a very brain rot show.
yeah,
I
like, and
love
even
it
if
though.
like imagine trying to answer that question of why doesn't he? Is there any explanation that?
No.
And even if you can explain that, like the
There's so
next
much
scene would
other
have to
stuff
be
going on
more
in it.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah.
That was a great list. Good
Yeah.
suggestion. I do
Nice.
think we should move on though.
Yeah, no.
We got to we have another movie.
I know.
We've already gone like over 2 hours.
Kinds of Kindness late. It like took up an hour.
Yeah. But all right, so I'll introduce this movie that I recommended on the last pod, and that is from 1960, the movie Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. And Psycho is one of those movies that even if you haven't seen it, you've seen it because it's just so prevalent in pop culture, especially in horror, that you know everything about it. You know shots, you know the twist, you know the behind the scenes, you know that shower scene
with
they
the chocolate
use
syrup.
chocolate syrup to imitate blood because it's shot in black and white and it had the same consistency. So this is a movie that somehow I just never fully checked out in its entirety. But I knew basically everything about it.
Yeah.
Especially us going to Universal a lot of the horror makeup show that's one of the most famous movies that they talk about.
Yeah, because I was with the chocolate. Yeah, I remember that's where I learned about the chocolate syrup thing actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe we're just saying that as if everyone knows that, but yeah, they actually used chocolate syrup as blood in the movie. But anyways, I'm really glad that I ended up revisiting it, or I guess checking it out because I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
And we watched it in 4K, and it looked fantastic.
Yeah,
a movie from
it looked really good.
It was like beautiful. The black and white looked great. Hitchcock is known to be one of the greatest directors of all time. I know a lot of modern day directors are inspired by him. There was even a call out, I guess. I don't know if you could call it that, but I know I mentioned it to you while we were watching. That famous shower scene, everyone has seen it.
Yeah.
Probably been parodied to death. There's a shot at the end where the camera sort of pans down and it focuses in on the drain of the tub, and you see sort of the blood tub, and then it sort of fades into a shot of the character's eyeball.
Yeah.
And that transition just reminded me so much of Sam Raimi, and I was like, damn, this is where he got it from.
Yeah. Yeah, this is honestly the first. I mean, I watched Birds when I was younger, but first Hitchcock we had watched in a long time. And like you said, I was very impressed with a lot of the stuff, like the sound design, Even some of the shots in the movie for a movie that came out in 1960s, pretty good.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
Especially some of the camera work. There was one shot where the camera starts on the stairs and pans up all the way
Hands
onto
up.
the ceiling, and then it's a downward view. Like, how did they
Yeah.
film that? I don't
Even the
understand.
scenes of them in the car, like how did they do that in the rain and stuff?
I don't know. Very impressive stuff. Yeah, from
Yeah.
Hitchcock, I've only also seen Vertigo, and I
Yeah.
don't remember liking it that much. But I've also watched that, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess to talk a little bit about the story, it basically focuses on
This woman that like
she's like a real estate agent or something, and she ends up stealing a bunch of money, and on the way, she decides to tell where she meets Norman Bates, and he ends up murdering. Or no, his mother.
his mother ends up
His
murdering.
mother murders her, and it's sort of then these detectives pull up.
And then the detective's kind of like asking him about like what happened with her, like she's missing, and then he mentions like his mom, and he's like, "Oh, can I talk to your mom?" And he immediately like gets like really like weird and kind of uncomfortable with the detective, and then tells him
Yeah,
to leave. And then his mother ends up killing the detective. And then what happens that gets him to actually go into the house? I forgot.
I think they just basically make a plan to sort of distract him and just find the mother. Um,
Oh,
and then that's basically how they get in there. But instead of finding the mother, the sister of the woman who's murdered,
yeah.
it's revealed that this whole time Norman Bates was dressing up as his mother.
Yeah, and
And it's very psychological, which I didn't sort of expect them to dive
yeah,
into that aspect of it. There's a scene where it's a bunch of gentlemen sitting around a round table, sort of discussing the legality of the situation
yeah,
and saying, you know, it wasn't actually Norman who was doing this. He genuinely believed that he was his mother.
yeah.
So it was actually her. I didn't really expect them to dive into that, but I really enjoyed it.
I feel like because like I feel like as you as the audience, like now, like me and you know, just from the context of that scene that he's pretending to be his mother. But maybe for people back then, like they needed to literally tell them like this is why he's doing this for them to understand. That's like the only reason why I feel like they don't like kind of explain why he did it. They just tell you what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I could definitely understand like what you're saying and why you might think that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why they did it, but
Mm.
that would make sense. Um,
Not to call the
but
audience
honest,
stupid, but like
yeah, I mean, at that time, it was probably such an insane twist.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they probably fuck the people. I was like, yeah, there's no. I feel like there's no. I never even heard of a twist like that from back then.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew this, but Janet Lee or Lee, whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna just say Janet Lee.
Hmm.
She is the Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who's also, you know, a big
Big
scream
scream
queen.
queen. Yeah.
She's in the Halloween movies. Actually, I think a couple years ago, Jamie Lee Curtis recreated that shower screaming. They
Yeah.
look really similar.
I actually remember someone telling me that she was her mom was someone like big in a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool though.
yeah, I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, his mannerisms, how
Yeah.
he had these little tics, and you could tell when he was getting nervous.
Really good like performance from him, honestly. Like really sells the whole like something's off. And I feel like back then you really got to sell it for people to pick up on it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, he probably stood out the most to me out of anything.
Yeah.
Not to say that anyone else was bad or anything, but
Yeah.
he definitely stood out. He was a level of the other actor.
I agree. I agree.
There's that famous shot at the end of him smiling, looking at the camera, and I didn't know that scene also had this internal monologue of his mother talking.
Wait,
I
it was
thought that was
breaking up.
really
It
cool.
broke up. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I said there's that famous scene, or that famous shot, I should say, of Norman Bates sort of sitting down with that blanket over him, and he starts to smile at the camera deviously.
Yeah.
I didn't know
And like
that.
in the background, his mom is like, "Oh, it's him in his head."
Yeah, but I didn't know that that scene was accompanied by that little monologue. So
That
that was
little
really
what?
that monologue
Oh, oh,
of her speaking,
yeah,
but it's really him.
yeah, yeah.
So that was cool. Um, Trying to think. Yeah. Also, the look of the mother was very iconic. I've definitely seen a picture of that skeleton.
Yeah.
I just can't think of from where.
But
Um,
what did you have a
it,
favorite scene?
um, I don't want to say the shower scene because I feel like that's too basic. It's definitely iconic for a reason,
Yeah,
but I kind
I
of like
like the mother reveal scene.
I was
Honestly,
about to say that. Yeah, I like the reveal
yeah,
scene. It's just very
yeah,
well done. How
yeah.
she screams and then turns around. He's in
He's in the wig and
with the
yeah,
wig and everything. I thought that was very well done. I didn't know that that's how like I said, this is a movie that
came
you
out like
basically
almost.
know most of everything about it, even if
You don't, yeah.
those little nuances of his performance and things like that. I really what? Yeah, you gave your and then favorite characters. Norman Bates,
Yeah, Norman Bates.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, maybe we could get to ratings.
Ratings, yeah. I gave it a 3.5. I gave it a. I'm sorry, not 3.5, 4. I gave it a 4. 8 out of 10. Honestly, I was had a 3.5 for a while, but it's more just like for what it did at the time. I feel like viewing it now is obviously you're gonna be viewing it in a different lens, but for when it came out, it really like kind of set the. This is like the first really like major kind of. I don't know the term for like, but the
I mean,
kind of
it's one of the first slashers,
slashers, yeah. But
definitely.
this is like Norman Bates, like that's like a character that people talk about. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was
The
the first really horror icon
icon,
besides
yeah. That's
like
that's the word, yeah,
Nosferatu. You know,
yeah. But even that's not. Yeah,
this
that's
is
the
one
word
of
I was looking for.
the oldest movies we've discussed besides Nosferatu, which was
Nosferatu, yeah.
that was
Well, Space Odyssey was
1922.
one.
Yeah, that was 68, I think.
Was it
So this was
66?
60.
Oh,
This was
60. Oh,
60.
this is older.
Yeah. Oh
So,
wow. Um, but all right, yeah. So I guess to give my rating, I gave the film a 4.5 star, 9 out of 10. I absolutely loved it.
yeah.
Like I don't know what it was about the movie, even just visually watching it, I was just sucked in. I loved how it looked. It's so iconic in its characters and its
There's and
scene,
scenes.
and just what it did for horror in general is just unmatched, really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an earlier movie or something around this time that had.
No, honestly, I
Trying
don't
to
think there really
think
is
of it.
anything.
Yeah, I
You know?
mean, something that comes to mind is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that's 14 years after this.
Yeah.
So yeah, 9 out of 10. Loved it, and I'm glad that we watched it.
Yeah. Well,
So all right, to wrap things up on today's episode, we do actually have one question for the Q&A, and it was something that we kind of discussed earlier. But let me pull it up really quick. Yeah, so we actually have a question from @Michael Costa, who asked, "Do you wish that Anya Taylor-Joy was still the lead instead of?" Did you get that, Joe?
no, sorry. I know the question. Um, yeah, I do. I do. Just because she's obviously, after Furiosa and I've seen her and everything else. She's a fantastic actress. So anytime you're losing talent like that, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I kind of. It's like a mixed bag for me. Although I love Anya more as an actress, I do think Lily Rose Depp is at least living up to to her in some ways based on the trailer. She looked great from what we got. I mean, but the only thing is that is kind of a double-edged sword because with Anya Taylor-Joy, we also
Yeah, like you're
those
gonna
hope.
get. Yeah.
So we'll see. Thank you for the question.
Yeah,
It's a
that was
good
a good
question,
question.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's too early to tell, really. I guess I'll
Yeah.
make a better decision once I actually watch them. So, all right, that will wrap up episode 50. Thank you everyone who's made it this far.
Yeah.
Joe, do you want to recommend a movie for this episode?
Yeah. I actually it's not gonna be like a critically acclaimed one, but with all the news of like, with Donkey and Shrek and everything, I wanted to revisit the original Shrek movie, which I probably haven't watched in like probably 15 years. It's got to be a long time, but I obviously I love the movies growing up, so I want to revisit them and see like how I find it now.
Well, good thing my girlfriend got me the 4-pack of Shrek.
That S,
Yep.
like that, I saw that on Twitter too. Like the
So we're definitely gonna have to crack that open.
yeah,
I'm hyped. Yeah, I'm hyped to talk about that. I feel like Shrek was an inevitability.
yeah,
Eventually,
yeah.
we would get to it.
All roads lead to Shrek.
Yep. But
Yeah,
all right. So next episode, I'll also give a list. Since we're about halfway through the year, I think we should give our top 10 films of the year, and that'll include the releases we see with next episode.
yeah.
So I think what is it, Maxine and Despicable Me 4, right?
Yes, yes. And then
So
I know
we'll
I'm seeing. I don't know if you still want to discuss, but I'm seeing Quiet Place tomorrow. I know Matt saw it.
oh yeah, we could talk about it a little bit next
Yeah,
episode for sure. So all right.
yeah,
Thanks everyone for listening.
yeah.
Please follow us on all of our social medias. We actually just started our TikTok
TikTok.
account.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to learn how to edit videos. I've been getting better. They're not perfect.
Yeah,
But
Matt's. If you guys don't know, Matt's like basically he's the head. He runs everything. I just kind of,
yeah. This podcast works basically with Joe just showing up when
showing
we
up
record, and that's
and
it.
yeah,
I'm putting
I
in all the
just
real pain.
yeah,
So best believe when we make our first cent, I'm taking that for myself. No. Kidding. But anyways, yeah. So I've been working on my TikTok game. Please go give those a like because although it's a little 30-second video, it does take me a long time to make them. And yeah, check us out on our other social medias. Join our Discord.
yeah.
You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So thank you again, everyone, for listening. Back with episode.
Peace.